This song goes out to all the people out there that be running their mouth and they don't know what the hell they saying. Shut up. Now that I've got my voice back, let me start off by saying that I appreciate the fans around the world that had my back. And I just want to thank God upstairs for keeping his hands on me and keeping all the doctors focused through my surgery. Now, there's a couple of things I gotta get off my chest, some serious issues that I must address. So, well, let's just get right to it. People say that I was done, said there was no way this time he's gonna overcome. And even before the doctors was done and I could awake, a tsunami of rumors had come to wipe my career away. After 22 years of a blessed career, they had me lying in my hospital bed crying mad tears, woo-hoo. But just as I had many people hating me, I had so many people loving me. And let's not forget the hood around the world covering me. And to everybody that be calling me, telling me what they be saying about me, bringing me all of this negative shit, y'all the ones I ain't fucking with. It's time for me to evaluate the people that I let up in my space. Can I get a witness for all of this when people all up in your business? Tell them, shut up. Tell them, shut up. Tell them, shut up. I'm talking to you. Tell them, no. Shut up. Tell them, oh, shut up. Tell them, oh, shut up. And tell them, I'm talking to you. He's washed up, he's lost it, he ain't got it no more. Well, I'm here to tell you today, boy, you haters are so slow. And it saddens me to know some of y'all want me to go away. But when it's time for me to go, my God is gonna orchestrate it. Until then, I will accept the stones, pray and just try to get along. But sometimes it's so hard for me to be strong. See, I got kids and I'm trying to love them. So many things I'm trying to juggle. But I never thought this music would become my struggle. Oh, the news said I lost my house, my own people put me down, and my friends no longer around, no. But you see, deep underneath the surface, now I feel something's working in my behalf. A victory is near, yeah. See, my future ain't my past, it's not the end of the hourglass. Who said it would not last? Fans sick, they ass. Tell them, shut up, shut up, shut up. Tell them, shut up. I'm talking to you. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, yo. Shut up. If you're talking now, I'm talking to you. Now seriously, after all these hits and melodies and memories, you compare me to someone else. OMG.
Y'all ain't hear nothing that I was saying? Oh my goodness, gracious grief. I'm glad you said something, Precious, because I was talking away. So actually, what I was saying was, I don't understand how individuals claim they're supporters of Robert Sylvester Kelly, but they continue to gossip, spread rumors, lies, and people have so much energy for things that has nothing to do with Robert Sylvester Kelly, but they got so much, um, they don't got no energy for the Me Too movement. When the Me Too movement came out, they started in Atlanta and they went to different states, cities, and they went to um, the venues where Robert concerts was. They stood outside of there calling individuals pedophiles and to stop playing his music. They went to Sony begging them to release him. They went to Spotify begging them to release him. And you don't see these people put enough energy into the individuals who got a part in playing this setup for Robert, but instead they got so much energy to spread rumors, to gossip, spread narratives. And at the end of the day, again, I came in this fight for Robert Sylvester Kelly only. It ain't no favoritism for nobody else. Period. And when I see that you're either hurting Robert or something that you do is hurting Robert, or if I just see plain old that you just on YouTube, the gossip, cause problems, and make up narratives, I get away from people like that. I really do. I know the difference between people knowing that I know the family, I have a good relationship with them, and trying to get close to me so they think they can get some information or so they can get closer to the family, or um, I'm a vouch for them, or I'm not dumb. I never been slow, and you're not getting me. You're not. You're not. So let's make this very clear, right? If you know that you're going to be spreading rumors, gossiping, making up lies just to be irrelevant and seen, but in real life, when moves are being made to help Robert Sylvester Kelly, I don't see these people. And I'm hopping off plane to plane, train to train, going to this state, this city, that city. I don't see these group of people that be all up on YouTube. I don't see them. I really don't. When the real moves are being made to help Robert Sylvester Kelly get vindicated, I don't see these people at all. So it really sickens me when everybody got all this energy for stuff that don't matter, but ain't got no energy for the Me Too movement. They ain't got no energy to come together. So who can hear me and who cannot? Because Bobby, you must be delayed. You must be delayed, Bobby. Can everybody hear? Can everybody hear? Can everybody hear? Bobby, you must be delayed. Can everybody hear me? Just put a one in the chat. Let me check. You must be delayed. I know the difference between Can y'all hear me?
I know the difference.
Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me? Bobby, you must be delayed. Hey, Black CEO. Okay. So, like, again, everybody has so much energy for gossip, drama. Hey, Zena. Drama. He say, we say, she say, he say. But when it's time to sit down and talk about let's get on the move and bring awareness for Robert, and then it's everybody's incoherent. When it's time to get the flyers, get out here, put boots to the ground, this city, that state, to get to these radio stations, press conferences, try to get these interviews, then it's quiet. It takes more than just a couple marches to bring awareness. And when you come together as a force, you're very powerful and nobody can reckon with you, right? But when you sit around on YouTube and and like they say, rumors are carried by haters, spread by fools, and accepted by idiots. It's so many alleged supporters who continue to put false narratives out here, to lie. You got a lot of people out here who make believe everything that's coming out their mouth, who sit in all these different chats and focus on nothing but drama. And the sad part is, out of 100%, 87% don't know what the hell they be talking about. And me being a woman, I'm guessing because I was raised right. But you just don't come out and just talk. Say this, say that. Like, you got so many of these supporters who just talk because they got lips. Remember when your mom said, close your mouth while you were eating? She was talking about life too. But most of y'all will not understand. Y'all will not understand. And it sickens me that we got so much time to entertain stuff that's irrelevant and stuff that if you use your common sense, you already got the answers. But we ain't got that energy for the Me Too movement. We ain't got that energy to all come together to bring awareness for RobertSKelly. We ain't got that energy to back up Robert's family. And this is more reason why his family stays away. Every time I look, you got somebody talking about his family. Hey Teresa, I'll let y'all see it when and shout out to Joe Button too. Joe Button seen the plane riding down New York. Well, in New York, because y'all know he's from New York. And he also posted it. The Neighborhood Talk posted it. So it went to a lot of platforms. And shout out to my homies that's in New York who also got video surveillance. So give me a second. I'll talk about that too, Teresa. So, I mean, you made me forget what I was going to say, Teresa. Yeah, back to what I was going to say as far as the family. This is why Robert tells his closest friends and his family, stay away from that social media. Stay away from YouTube, stay away from Facebook, Instagram, all that. And when people want to know why the family don't show up to stuff, The family don't want to be bothered. Who wants to deal with fans and supporters who feel like they got more say so, or what they say matters more than Robert, his family, and his closest friends? That's why I said the other day, sometimes we gotta stay in our place. It's getting ridiculous. And it's sad. It's sad because at the end of the day, every time I look, how you claim you for Robert, but you bashing his brothers. You bashing his family. You think you be talking about stuff that you don't. And then soon as somebody come and spread a narrative, they pick right up on it. Like, y'all grown individuals. Can't nobody think for themselves? And y'all being watched. Because I know for sure if 7, 8 people sending me screenshots of people saying this, people saying that, I know for sure how many other people probably be in the bushes that's watching it. And it's starting to become crazy because you would think individuals say they for RobertSKelly, right? But now, since Don Russell has come out and claimed that somebody broke in his car, they robbed him. Now every day it's about Don Russell. Every day we're gonna make this about who broke in Don Russell's car. But Don Russell not making it about how did he get Robert's stuff to begin with. Or we wouldn't even be here. He talking about everything else. How did you get an indictment? He talking about everything else. To take the focus off Robert? These is not your supporters. These are Robert's supporters. And any grown man who has any relationship with RobertSKelly and knowing who this man is, you can't even call the lawyers and explain to the lawyers what happened to Robert things, but the first thing you do is go on YouTube. I never seen this breed of men and women in my life, especially men. I don't know what this YouTube stuff. I don't know if people ain't got jobs, no careers. They ain't got TVs at home to watch like soap operas and Comedy Central. Like, I don't get it. And people wonder why Robert's family don't deal. And no, I'm not going to keep reaching out to them, begging them to do this, do that. They see YouTube, they watching it. So the next time people want to know why Robert's family is not involved, go check these channels out. Go check the chats out. Look what people saying in chats. Don Russell comes out today, he talk about everything else. Okay, so now you putting out Bruce's business. Oh, I let Bruce come live with me. He ain't had nowhere to go. He starts stealing. Now Bruce is stealing. So convenient to say now that you saying somebody broke in your car and took Robert's music. Isn't that so convenient? To throw Bruce under the bus. Nobody said nothing about you knowing that you had Robert things all these months. All everybody wanted you to do was return it. And I'm a woman and I know how to hold water. And you a grown ass man and you couldn't even pick up the phone and give RobertSKelly the common courtesy to tell him that his things were taken out of your vehicle that you wasn't supposed to have in the first place. But the first thing you come do is throw his family under the bus. And y'all wonder why people don't mess with y'all. You wonder why. Are you a man or a little boy? I don't get it. Half of these people on YouTube, he don't even know. But instead, you rather have a conversation and explain something to them. These are R. Kelly supporters. These aren't your supporters. And at the end of the day, if you was any type of friend to Robert, any type of friend, you come on a public platform to throw his family under the bus, telling his brother whereabouts and all. Are you serious? And ain't nobody going to tell me that that's thorough. Ain't nobody going to tell me that it's entertaining. That's bullshit. And that ain't no man. That's some sissy shit. Because guess what? Regardless of where Bruce was living, there was nobody on YouTube's business. Period. And when a person starts talking about everything else but the real subject at hand, he sounds like a pre-recorded computer. Like basically, he sat there, wrote everything down before he came on YouTube so he can know what he's going to say. How did you get RobertSKelly's stuff? You skipped that question. Why didn't you call and let Robert's lawyers know that you were robbed? You skipped that question. But now you going to throw Bruce under the bus about Bruce doing drugs. Now Bruce stealing stuff. So convenient now that you claim you got robbed. Isn't that so convenient? Oh, they broke in my will and stuff. So now I'm going to say Bruce was on drugs and he was stealing the stuff. See, I'm not that dumb. And I'm very loyal to Robert. So I ain't going to sit up here and say too much. But I'm going to say this, though. You think because you capping these subscribers up, bloggers, but we all know the truth though. And the funny thing about it is, you another one that's not for Robert. Anytime you can disrespect his family, that's just like putting Robert's business out there. It's crazy how a couple of us knew about Bruce whereabouts, Carrie whereabouts, but none of us get on this goddamn YouTube and tell people what they fucking worry about. And it just pisses me off, y'all. Excuse my language. But it's not cool. Men don't do that. Men don't gossip like women. And real men take accountability. Keep it real. Robert don't talk to you. Robert don't talk to your mother. Keep it real. And it's like anybody can see through this shit. We not talking about the guy Kenny on the corner that's from the hood, from the block. We talking about RobertSKelly, y'all. This man has been disrespected, slandered all over these freaking YouTube streets for over 2 years. That's not how you respect a goddamn legend. And what I'm noticing is people think like they trying to be him or get the attention that he got for over 30-something years. You're not an artist. You're not you don't sing. You don't make music. You don't, like, you do your occupation. You let Robert do his. But now you're trying to come in his territory with his supporters, his fans, and you trying to get some type of attention and some type of clout. Like I don't get it. And then anybody who sits there and watches dude do this, why is nobody asking him, how did you get the music? How did you get Robert's things? See, like I said, I'm not a bitch. I'm not sitting on YouTube telling nobody freaking business. But as fast as you threw Bruce under the bus, anybody with common sense would know that's bullcrap. When you first came out Friday, it was Angelo and them stalking you. They've been stalking you and you just want your stuff back. Oh yeah, and they took Rob's stuff too. All right, cool. Next day, back again. Talking about this, talking about that. Oh yeah, and they got the information and da, 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 da. So now you hear Sharon is on my live last night, spitting the facts. And then she goes on her platform and tell you just return the stuff. You come back. Oh, Bruce doing this, Bruce did that, Bruce stealing. Oh, and I thought I was being nice. I let Bruce come live at one of my houses. And all. Are you freaking kidding me? Oh yeah, and then this about Carrie. You sound like a fucking female. A straight fucking female. You are so disrespectful to RobertSKelly and his fucking occupation, his credentials, who he is. You are disrespectful. And I hate a pillow talking ass nigga. I hate a pillow talking ass nigga. I hate a nigga who inserts himself in shit that he wasn't invited to do. But he just want to be seen. He want to be heard. You've been running around here on YouTube for the last 2 years, and that's all you doing is talking. I wonder how these indictments came out. That's all you doing is talking. Exactly. We talking about Rkellys. I ain't never seen no artist get treated like this. This shit is unbelievable. This shit is ghetto. This shit is embarrassing. Like if you had anything to say about his brothers, his cousins, his whoever, you take that shit off YouTube. But I guess you want that attention. You want clout. You want a story. Aren't you in enough shit fighting a fucking case? But just so conveniently to say now that Bruce stole shit because he's getting high and you tried to help the brothers get back. Do you not know that people were helping them prior to you even coming to fuck around? Are you serious? I'm a woman and I was looking out for Bruce and fucking Carrie. And would never come on YouTube and tell they fucking business. And that's why half of these people mad at me now, because a lot of them want to talk to them. They want to talk to the family, and I don't play it. I don't do it. That's why a lot of people really mad, because of shit like this. You can't trust no motherfucking body. And then y'all see why they don't. This is not a game. This is their real fucking life. Rkelly is the one that's a celebrity. They're not celebrities. They have a regular, normal life. They have children. They have families. Everybody want to play around with their shit, but all y'all lives, people don't know shit about. or what's going on in y'all households. But what's going on in their life is the talk of the fucking town. And we sitting up here entertaining somebody who has got indicted for some bullshit while Robert was already fighting his case for this other bullshit. Make that shit make sense. And you can't even be a man, stand up to your shit, take accountability for your shit, and at least fight your fucking case first. You come right out here talking. Same thing that got you when you got the first time, talking. I never seen a man operate like that. This shit is not cool, yo. These supporters are not, a lot of these people is not real supporters. They just sit on YouTube whenever they see people notifications go off. They run on YouTube. They sit up in the chat. That's their fucking life. Sit back, gossip, spread rumors, and fucking accept narratives. Idiots. Go from platform to platform, spreading lies, talking shit about people, downgrading people, talking all shit that ain't got nothing to do with them. I can't believe this. So we're going to listen to a grown-ass man talking like a little ass boy. And you tell me, what do you think? Because yet and still, this man is coming on YouTube still talking, but yet and still, he still hasn't called the lawyers. He still hasn't got in touch with Robert family. He still hasn't got in touch with nobody to let them know that Rkelly shit is missing, but YouTube. Make that shit make sense. Make that shit make sense. And people that claim they for Rkelly, y'all respect that shit? Y'all respect that shit? Not even just that, Rkelly fighting a whole case. Then he got 3 motherfucking co-defendants who ain't got shit to do with it. Whatever they wanted to do, they did. And now they his fucking co-defendants. Like, this shit isn't fair. Because everybody want to be synced. Everybody want to be a part of this fucking case. Everybody want to be clout chasing. I'm not with it. And one thing or two things for certain, I'm not a fucking liar. And I'm not going to call people the fuck out because I'm not into that. But so many people in these YouTube streets are fucking liars. They make it up as they go along. Straight up. And it's sad. And it's sad. I don't care what nobody say. Fucking liar is worse than a thief. At least a thief, you know they gonna steal. A liar, you don't know what the fuck they gonna do. This shit is upsetting. And it's just everybody worried about this. Everybody want to be seen. Everybody want to call each other brothers, sisters, and oh, we family and all this shit. That shit is bullshit. That's all bullshit. Because in real life, motherfuckers ain't showing up. Again, they're going to sit on this internet and talk as much shit as they can. Period. And like I said again, this is why Robert's family don't want to be bothered. This is why his closest friends, his celebrity friends, don't want to be bothered. Oh, trust me, they get the links to the bullshit that's going on YouTube. They get the links. A lot of them watch my channel and watch others' channels. They know exactly what's going on. It ain't a game. They know exactly what's being said out here and all. And nobody's feeling it. And at the end of the day, it comes to a line of fucking respect. You know how many people have told me stuff, and I go back to the source and question it, and people tell me, damn, that person lying. That person lying. And I'd be like, damn, like I didn't even ask these people for this information. They came to me with it. But you mean to tell me they lying? It's sad. It's a big playground. But the crazy thing about all this is someone's life. And like I said, in real life, when things are being handled, these folks ain't around. But they quick to be on YouTube in the chat spreading lies and narratives. And see, what it is with me is they think I'm stupid. So when people say, "Oh, well, can I speak to this person?" or "We trying to do this," like I'm dumb, like I don't got no sense, and I'ma just give out anybody numbers, or I'ma put anybody on the phone. Man, I'm hard as nails. You can't crack me. I ain't gonna break. Never. So many different individuals that know me will tell you I would never give up their number, never just call them and have somebody on the phone. I don't record people, none of that shit. And that's why they deal with me and not a lot of others. It's a damn shame when Robert family only deal with about 3 people on YouTube. That's a shame. But look why. So many freaking lies every day. It's sad. It's sad. And if anybody had an issue, when me and Sharon was live last night, everybody's grown. They could have dropped in the chat. She asked everybody, "Do y'all have any questions that I can answer?" But people wait until the live is over to be coming all in my chat, writing stuff, and I still was respectful and answering questions. Like, and what I don't get either is when people, who do people think that they are? If Robert accepts individuals, who the hell do you think you are? Nobody. Whatever he rocks with, whoever he rocks with, that's Robert. But who owes anybody on these YouTube streets anything? And I think it's a lot of jealousy. People are jealous that Robert has his favorites and who he deals with and whatever the case may be. People are jealous because they really don't have no clue and don't nobody deal with you. You got to call this person and that person to get to this person. I ain't got to do that. One phone call for me. And I notice a lot of people are jealous. So because they don't have that, they got to make up narratives. They got to make up lies. Like, it's a mess. And it's not fair. Exactly, Bobby and Pamela. And this, when I tell y'all, I can run down so many receipts. But again, that's taking my time to focus on stuff that doesn't even matter. That's not helping Robert. And when people say the fans is not helping, it's not everybody, but it's majority that's not. Everybody got something to say, but nothing to say to me too. Nothing to say to the individuals who playing a part of Robert being arrested. Make that make sense. So at the end of the day, if we trying to see RobertSKelly vindicated, we trying to support Robert, his children, his family, so on and so forth. All this stuff that's going on these YouTube streets got to stop first. Don't nobody want you around their family and their friends and with this type of Stuff that y'all doing on YouTube, you can't be trusted. And then I see so many people choosing others and putting Robert second. Facts. Like that's is embarrassing. It's embarrassing, y'all. This is the king of R&B, and all you gotta do is go to YouTube, to a blogger's channel, and you gonna hear a person talking about him, his family, his music being all in the streets, all what? Because most artists will get you a cease and desist and shut your damn mouth from talking about them. It's a damn shame. And it's like, what is the solution for this? What is the solution? Because it's not going to be one. They're going to still continue to gossip, still make up narratives, and that's it. This is all fun and games to them. Because I never seen so many grown people in my life that sit in chats and gossip, sit in chats and talk about things that they have no freaking clue what they're talking about. Exactly. Hey, Lady 81, it's embarrassing. The bad behavior has to stop. If bloggers are fighting for R. Kelly, just do that. But this is the thing. People have turned this into something else. Now they fighting for other individuals. They placing people around Robert that Robert not even placing around himself. That man hasn't even come out and say, this who I'm rocking with. This who I be around. Just because you seen somebody in the goddamn picture. And let's be clear. Stop playing the games. Don Russell is in an indictment. Have you seen or heard the lawyers or anybody associate with this man? So why would you be dumb enough to come on YouTube and then you associate with him? And if you are going to, you do that behind the scenes. But it's a freaking investigation going on. These are Robert co-defendants. It's all these extra shit on Robert's case. First it was just these alleged victims. Now it's bomb threats, is threatening alleged victims, burning fucking cars, bribing, and Robert has nothing to do with none of that shit. He's been sitting in a jail while all this shit getting played out. And everybody acting like they stupid and they don't know who to choose. Oh, it's definitely gonna be Pamela because I guess nobody heard us talking yesterday. But see, like I said, people are not around in real life. In real life. We ain't talking about just on YouTube. We talking about in real life things are being taken care of. And everybody worrying about somebody they talking about they can't see and they don't trust they can't see somebody. How dumb people are is, let me say this too. If Robert accepts somebody, guess what? All that matters is that he can see that person. Why do it matter if you can see a person or not? Long as Robert accepts that person, who the hell are you? And Robert still ain't gonna talk to you. He still ain't gonna ask you permission if it's okay or nothing. And that person gonna continue to have a relationship with Robert and be cool. So you got people out here talking about, oh, I don't trust nobody if I can't see him. Who the hell wants people to see them when the first thing people doing is doxing you, looking your family the hell up, all in your business, going all through your page trying to see what information you got or your family and your kids so they can screenshot it and go post it later on. So who the hell cares about if you can see somebody's face? Who's doing the work? Who's putting the goddamn work in? The real work. And if Robert accepts it and Robert is happy with it, who the hell are you? That's why I said a lot of us need to learn our place. Because you're going to sit back and talk to you blue in the goddamn face. Nothing's going to change that. Like, it's sad. And it doesn't make no sense. First, everybody was running around Sharon was dead. But what's funny to me is Don Russell come up on the channel. Now you run around telling people that this lady was a fed. You did. And you ain't just tell Sharon. You told a couple people. So now you got this lady barking back, but you not telling her the honest to God truth, what you said. Don't nobody know her like that. So if she was a fed, how could somebody else know? They going off what you said because you told people don't trust that she's a fed. But you couldn't even be man enough to sit on the platform and tell a woman that you said it. But what's really bothering me is how he sit on the platform, right? And the person asking him, do he know Sharon? Do he know this? He talk about all this stuff, but she know all these people. She talked to all these people, but he talking about, but he ain't see her face. So apparently, if she knows Robert, she talks to Robert, the family, this person, that person, keep all these people. Somebody seen her, dummies. Somebody's accepting her, dummies. Somebody knows the truth, dummies. And we put our time into so much shit that doesn't matter. It's sad. It's so sad. Especially our black people. We minding everything else that ain't got nothing to do with us. Nothing that if you got an opinion or not is going to change any goddamn thing. And we ain't got none of this smoke for the Me Too movement. They came right out in Atlanta. They had about 19, 20 women. They marched off from this city, that state to state, every other day until they got charges brought up on Robert. But we can sit around and talk about stuff that you can't change or nobody else. Whatever Robert accepts is what he accepts. Who the hell are you? So instead of for having your opinion on something, you might as well just be quiet. And I just wish one day we can get it right. But I know we're not going to be able to because people that came into this fight came in with a hidden agenda. They didn't come in this fight solely for Robert Sylvester Kelly and to see the vindication of Robert Sylvester Kelly. So that's what makes the fight more difficult and being there for Robert because you got these people that's just hanging around because they want to be seen, they want to be heard, and they're just clean around. And the sad part about all this, people want to know why people don't want to be involved. This is why. Oh, why his celebrity friends don't come out and speak? Why would they? Why would they? Did y'all see what people doing on the internet? On YouTube? In these chats and the lies, and why would they? And I told a lot of people for months, years, even when Bruce was coming out to get the support and trying to talk to different channels to bring awareness about his brother. And when he was trying to do interviews and or go on Central Ave and all these different things, this stuff costs money. I've been said that it costs money. So at the end of the day, It's either you gonna help Robert's family or you're not gonna help his family. Either you gonna help Robert or you're not gonna help him. That's it. But you can't say you for Robert, but you either disrespecting his family, talking about his family, throwing his family underneath the bus, or putting shit out on YouTube that ain't got nothing to do with R. Kelly's case about his family. Like I just, and it's hard for me to grasp it. And you sit back for 2 years and watch all this. Like I said, I had personal relationships with these people. I see these people in person. My mother's born and raised in Chicago. My aunt is over there. I have two cousins that's there with their kids. So I'm over there in real life all the time. And it's just sad because don't nobody be wanting nothing to do with none of it. And they just rather be there for Robert in their own way. And that's sad. It doesn't make any sense. And then you got people on YouTube that don't know anything. Nothing. Nothing. They just going off of what a blogger tell them, what they think they know. And I guess they think that some people so stupid that we just gonna get up on a platform, I guess just to chase some money or something. Oh yeah, and this going on, and yup, that is going on, man. Anybody that know me, anybody, you can ask anybody. I'm just like my father. You can't break me, and I'm not the one to pillow talk. Period. And real recognize real. Real recognize real. And the way that Robert and his family is being thrown all over these YouTube streets and their business and all that, that's bullcrap, y'all. That is bullcrap. It's foul, it's disrespectful, and this is why they don't mess with nobody. This is why. So get used to it. Get used to it. Everybody want to come together. Everybody want to try to have one big thing. Get used to it. Go ask them individuals, why do they consistently keep bringing up his family? Why do they consistently telling his family business? Whatever his family doing. And ain't got nothing to do with R. Kelly's case. His brothers, his family ain't indicted. But the fool over there telling you all this shit about Robert's family is the hell indicted. And did X and Y he took Robert's stuff. He got everything else to talk about. Like he trying to get the spotlight. Man, this is R. Kelly supporters. These ain't just supporters. All you had to simply do was give the stuff back. That's it. Like it's crazy. And this is the real world out here. This ain't no games. It ain't no play toy. It's none of that. None of it. Sad, man. And I don't know how much more are we going to be able to listen and take heed and be grown and do grown things that we were destined to do. Ain't none of us on this damn YouTube no children. But just think about that. You got a person that's indicted for allegedly calling for a bomb, um, posting information about alleged victim. So at the end of the day, it sounds like to me that individuals are looking for support from Robert supporters, looking for heirs from Robert supporters, looking for sympathy from Robert supporters. Like it doesn't make any sense. And yes, this is a hard fight. Yes, it is. And I keep trying to tell everybody that. And when you're just sitting on YouTube and you just typing in chat, yes, that's the easy part. That's the easy part. But when you out here and then this city and that state passing out flyers strategically, trying to talk to individuals, then you gotta understand their response might not be what you want it to be because you're talking about R. Kelly, everybody has their opinions. But then when you're trying to get interviews set up, going to go talk to different individuals, then when you have still your own life and your children that you have to take care of, and if you have your own job, your own business, all that stuff comes into play. All of it. So at the end of the day, we got to stay focused and we got to realize, why would a person come out here to for 2-3 days talking about everything but how did he get the items, and still have not called Robert lawyers to say, hey, I'm bringing the items back. Hey, I'm returning the items. And it's so sad, even down to the alleged victims, even down to Robert friends, even down to even if somebody post them on Instagram, and everybody knows it's up and stuff they don't got nothing to do with. Sad. The whole and then the whole hold up to a lot of different things is people can't be grown enough to stand up as men and women and say, no, that ain't cool, that ain't right, and call people out on their shit. Y'all condone a lot of this shit. And I really don't understand how we all can sit around and see Robert fighting for his life and getting ready to get moved to New York, which is not his hometown, a whole new jail. And Steve Harvey says this morning on the Steve Harvey show, oh, we got him now. We got him now. Yeah, I said it this morning. And then you hear a stupid behind Steve Harvey this morning dragging RobertSKelly. Oh yeah, we got him now. He's in he's over here in New York. We got him now. And we focus on everything else. But I think I'm the only channel who came and spoke about it. That they already plotting for when he gets to New York. Make that make sense. And I'm the only blogger who spoke about it. And shout out to my sub who brought it to my attention at 8 o'clock this morning. Yes, Steve Harvey was on his network. And we got to start getting better. We got to start doing better. And we just let everybody come into this. Oh, I know R. Kelly. Oh, yeah, I know R. Kelly for 40 years. Oh, yeah, I know this person. Yeah, like, cut it out. If you don't see these people in real life, and when the trial come and stuff, and they over there with Robert and his family or whatever case may be, then come on, cut the bull crap. RobertSKelly ain't dummy, far from it. So if you know he don't know somebody or whatever the case may be, then that's what it is. But if you don't never hear the lawyers coming out speaking about this person, Robert's family coming out speaking about this person, why would you give this person more credit than what R. Kelly's giving them? I just don't understand it. So let's go back down memory lane so I can remind people of how people have hidden agendas and had them from the beginning. And now everybody's getting so unfocused off of R. Kelly and him going to probably getting picked up any second. Again, let me go ahead and pull this up. Yeah, but Robert will be getting moved Any minute, any second. When he just was in court Thursday, they already said that they'll be moving him. The judge ordered it and said start the preparations to move him to New York. So with that being said, that's a whole different one. Precious, you said don't give them that free publicity, Jazz. Who? Oh, I ain't giving nobody no free publicity. I'm just saying what I had to say and on behalf of Robert. Because it's sickening. This is sickening. And I think that's the problem. We got to start calling people out on their bullshit. This is sickening. And it's sad as shit. Like I said, when Robert came in this fight, it was just alleged victims. Then you got 3 other men. This shit ain't no joke, y'all. This is a goddamn. So let me show you how it ain't no joke. Michael Williams went to court today. I don't know if everybody did y'all hear the court? Did y'all get any information? Well, let's go over the court. Okay, let's pull this up. Like I said, you got indictments rolling all around and this, that, and the third, but oh boy, sad. Sad, yo. It's really sad. Okay, guys, let me see. Let me try to put it. And let me see if I can pull it up this way, guys. Give me one more second.
Look at this, only in New Jersey. I'm in the sky. Are you fucking kidding me, buddy? This what you waste your good, hard-earned money on is to see?
So y'all hear Joe Button, right? Talking about Rkellys, right? Let me let y'all see it.
You gotta be shitting me.
He said this is what y'all waste your money on.
I'm in the sky.
But we ain't gonna talk about Joe Button beating on women.
Kidding me, buddy? This what you waste your good, hard-earned money on is to see?
In a second, I'm gonna show you.
You gotta be shitting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We up against a lot. And we gotta we on the internet entertaining Don Russell. You gotta be shitting me.
I'm in the sky. Are
Y'all
you
see it?
kidding me, buddy? This what you waste your good, hard-earned money on is to see?
Wait a minute. Try to get it where y'all can see.
You gotta be shitting me.
Can y'all see?
Look at this, only in New Jersey. I'm in the sky. Are you fucking kidding me, buddy? This what you waste your good, hard-earned money on is to see? You gotta be shitting me. Look at this, only in New Jersey. I'm in the sky. Are you fucking kidding me, buddy? This what you waste your good, hard-earned money on is to see?
Can y'all see it?
You gotta be shitting me.
I'm trying to do it where y'all can see. Wait a minute.
Look at this, only in New Jersey.
Okay.
I'm in the sky. Are you fucking kidding me, buddy? you waste your good, hard-earned money on is to see? You gotta be shitting me. Look at this, only in New Jersey. I'm in the sky. Are you fucking kidding me, buddy? This what you waste your good, hard-earned money on is to see? You gotta be shitting me. Look at this, only in New Jersey. I'm in the sky. Are you fucking kidding me, buddy? This what you waste your good, hard-earned money on is to see? You gotta be shitting me. Look at this, only in New Jersey. I'm in the sky. Are you fucking kidding me, buddy? This what you waste your good, hard-earned money on is to see? You gotta be shitting me. Look at this, only in New Jersey. I'm in the sky. Are you fucking kidding me?
Can y'all see it? Hey man, I'm trying to do it one more time for y'all. In a second. Can y'all see it? Yeah, he's a hater. Steve Harvey was hating this morning too, y'all.
Look at this, only
It's
in New
real.
Jersey. I'm in the sky. Are you fucking kidding me, buddy? This what you waste your good, hard-earned money on is to see?
Wait a minute, Joe.
You gotta be. Look at this, only in New Jersey. I'm in the sky. Are you fucking kidding me, buddy? This what you waste your good, hard-earned money on is to see? You gotta be shitting me. Look at this, only in New Jersey. I'm in the sky. Are you fucking kidding me, buddy? This what you waste your good, hard-earned money on is to see? You gotta be shitting me. Look at this, only in New Jersey. I'm in the sky. Are you fucking kidding me, buddy? This what you waste your good, hard-earned money on is to see? You gotta be shitting me. Look at this, only in New Jersey. I'm in the sky. Are you fucking kidding me, buddy? This what you waste your good, hard-earned money on is to see? You gotta be shitting me. Look at this, only in New Jersey. I'm in the sky.
I was trying to make sure you guys see
buddy?
it.
This what you waste your good, hard-earned money on is to see? You gotta be shitting me. Look at this, only in New Jersey. I'm in the sky. Are you fucking kidding me, buddy? This what you waste your good...
So I was just trying to make sure that y'all synced it. I'ma blow it up real fast. Cause I got pictures of it too. You already know what was going to happen. We was going to have haters. We was going to have some people that was happy about seeing it. Gotta take the good with the bad, you know? And that's what pisses me off with this YouTube stuff because we already got enough. We already have enough dealing with all the haters against Robert. So why when we come to YouTube to bring awareness about Robert, we gotta deal with it with the fans that claim they support him. And we all supposed to have one thing in common. Rkellys, fighting for Rkellys to be vindicated. But a lot of them is just like the same ones that me who took Rkellys down. Tried to take Rkellys down. And it's crazy because yeah, no, let me pull this up, y'all. Okay, I know it was on here. Let me see. Give me a second. Okay, I guess they took it off of this one, you guys. I was trying to find it for y'all. So I'm gonna just show y'all the regular one I got. Oh yeah, I don't know what's that doing. I don't know what that is. Hey guys, I think they took it off of this one. So let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah, you can see it. It's just that I guess because the way my phone is, it clear as day. It say Rkellys was set up. Mine's here again. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. If I can't, might have to wait till this evening. Oh yeah, I have to just wait. That's funny though that out of all the celebrities, Joe Biden was the only one who did, and he's not the only one that's from let me see. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna pull up the picture and see if I can do it that way. That's the only way, guys. I guess I can pull it up. He's definitely a hater and a low life piece of shit, right? But he ain't even had to say nothing, like. But you know, people say stuff just to be irrelevant. Well, think they irrelevant. Okay. Okay, yo, let me show y'all this way. I don't know, y'all. I might have to do it this way. Okay, yo. Listen. Yeah, that's another thing they don't talk about either. The 13-year-old boy who got killed in Chicago, but everybody talking about anything else. This world is backwards. Alright, John, let me see if I can pull it up through this way. It's a lot of work.
food and the drinks, it's gonna be a party. Well, turn up.
Is it on there, y'all? Oh yeah, I see it. But it's just half of it.
Break out the food and the drinks, it's gonna be a party. Well, turn up the music real loud, invite everybody. Go right ahead and smoke and play some cards, just make yourself at home. It's okay to take somebody's hand and get your groove on. Get up in here, Sunday couldn't be better. I love to see my people come together, talk about friends. Yes, oh, I'm talking about friends and family. Everyone is getting along, and it's so awesome. Why don't we just go on and call party the world reunion? Let's reminisce on all the times we shared through all the years. Let's take a toast to the one that we loved and we missing could not be. All up in here, Sunday couldn't be better. I love to see my people come together, talking about friends. Yes, oh, family. Yeah. Oh, I'm talking about friends and family. Although we didn't have much, we still had each other. And what we went through it together. We stick together, said through thick or thin. I thank God for memories and all my day one friends.
Okay.
We're about to do the family and friends dance right now. Family and friends dance. Come on, y'all. Do your two step. Do your two step. And take it to the right.
Yo, this song is so beautiful. It really takes you away from the negativity and not focusing on the negativity and the lyrics. And we all know the lyrics sound just like hell. And you would think people would listen to this song and stop the bull crap. And but R. Kelly gonna always have haters. When you a person like R. Kelly and you have been blessed and anointed by God like that, you're gonna have haters.
I'm talking about friends, oh friends, oh and family. I'm talking about family. Do you remember? Do you remember? Do you remember?
Hey, so you hear this thing, Kelly? Man, it's loud.
Oh, I'm talking about friends. Oh, let's stay together. Hey, we gotta stay together. Hey.
That's a beautiful song, guys. I'm sorry. And it's like, I wish people in these YouTube streets would take heed onto the song, but I guess that's not going to happen either. These people are going to be the same way, even when Robert comes home. They still going to be on YouTube looking for gossip, looking for drama. And They just gonna stay this up. So at the end of the day, a lot of people, I hope they take heed and listen and step away from anything that's hurting Robert or anything that you might think will hurt Robert, because in the long run, you're gonna be mad that somebody not telling you or giving you heads up, and you wind up being put in something you don't want to be put in. And I think everybody's worried about gossiping and what's the next topic that they be so wrapped up. Oh, thank you. You're right about that. I'm trying to bring up this interview so y'all can hear it for those that wasn't here the other day. And also, Michael Williams has pled guilty. Give me 1 second. Okay, guys, let me pull it up now. Is anybody in tune to the George Floyd trial? Well, they wrapping it up now. Um, the opening.
Each of my people vetting one of the juries. You get it. Vets and shit and everything from outcome of this trial. That's what you're talking about now.
They closing with the latest arguments. Wait a minute. The closing arguments, yeah. But we gonna go here, you guys. I want you to hear this. I was trying to pull up Michael Williams' case for y'all too. And Pacers. So one of these interviews was, um, you guys might have knew when he was on one of these channels. But the reason that I want y'all to listen is because this is how you learn what a person, um, what their objective is and their hidden agendas from the beginning. And again, the way this person just did, the way he just disrespected Robert's family, that's not a friend, period. And a lot of these people on YouTube, Robert does not know. So you trying to throw Robert's family under the bus and his brother talking about how he lived with you and you gave him somewhere to live and all this. Okay. Okay. All right. So it says here, Rkellys associate Michael Williams. Let me put this up. And I don't know if some of you were able to call on the call. Were you able to? I'm not sure, but it was at 12 o'clock. I had put a video up for you guys. So maybe you guys were or were not. It says, Rkellys associate Michael Williams admits to setting accuser's SUV on fire. Rkellys' friend pleaded guilty to 1 count of arson. An Rkellys associate took a plea deal Monday for trying to silence a witness in the R&B singer's racketeering case by setting her SUV on fire. Michael Williams, 38, to 1 count of arson for destroying the vehicle rented by the woman's father, which was parked in front of the Kissimmee, Florida home where she and her family were staying. In exchange for his plea in Brooklyn federal court, prosecutors have agreed to drop the witness tampering charge against him. He faces a minimum of 60 months in prison and a maximum of 71 months under federal sentencing guidelines. The plea agreement is fair in that the witness tampering charge, as it relates to Rkellys, will be dismissed at sentencing, said defense lawyer. Two hours before the June 11 blaze, Williams, a longtime friend of the jailed Ignition crooner, used his cell phone to search for the Florida address. After the car was set alight, there was an explosion. A witness stepped outside and saw an individual fleeing from the scene whose arm appeared to be lit on fire. The complaint alleges fire investigators also found accelerant on the edge of the property. Court papers charge. Williams' distant GMC Yukon, which has damage to the front and side and no front license plate, was captured on Toll Plaza cameras traveling from his home state of Georgia to Florida before the arson, then returning. The complainant states. 10 days later, Williams Googled, "How do you fertilizer bomb works?" The purpose of that search wasn't immediately clear. He also searched the phrases "witness intimidation" and case law for tampering with a witness, according to court papers. And Azriel Clary, Rkelly's former girlfriend, accused the singer of sexual and physical abuse. He was charged last year alongside of Donnell Russell and Richard Arline Jr., who were each accused of trying to silence Kelly's alleged victims, though intimidation and bribery. Arline pleaded guilty in February. Kelly is locked up awaiting trial in Brooklyn federal court on more than a dozen criminal counts of sexual trafficking, racketeering, coercion, and other raps related to the abuse of 6 women and girls. The three-time Grammy winner faces a separate indictment in Chicago, where he is charged with producing child pornography and destroying evidence. What do y'all think? So they saying that, let me read that part again. It says, in exchange for Michael Williams' plea deal, in exchange for his plea, Brooklyn federal court prosecutors have agreed to drop the witness tampering. So they just gave him arson for him pleading guilty. So if he didn't take the plea deal, then they would have gave him arson and witness tampering. But since he took the plea, in exchange for his plea in Brooklyn, the federal court prosecutors have agreed to drop the witness tampering charge against him. He's facing a minimum of 60 years. I said 60 years. 60 months in prison and a maximum of 71 months under federal sentencing guidelines. Then it says the plea agreement is fair in that witness tampering charge as it relates to R. Kelly will be dismissed at sentencing, said defense lawyer Todd spoke to. That part I don't understand. The plea agreement is fair and that the witness charge as it relates.
You know what this motherfucker just did?
But
He waived his trial. You going with the judge.
Oh, judge only? No, that's smart because that judge is on his side. Oh man, y'all.
So he going against the
Chauvin.
He
just waived his right for jury trial. So now he gonna let the judge. That's better for him. That judge look like he's racist. Man, that ain't a good thing. Yeah, Chauvin just waived his.
What's going to happen to the judge if he find him not guilty?
Yes, he will.
That's how they looking at it. That's how they looking at it. That's why they painting this picture of the jury because somebody threatened one of the juries. They had a contact with somebody out in the.
So they saying y'all that when somebody threatened one of the
juries,
the cop from George Floyd's the trial. So now he's going with judge only.
Yeah, he waiving his rights. He going with the
I don't believe it.
You gotta watch this.
No, I'm not. We Michael Williams pleaded guilty today. We watching this. Michael Williams from R. Kelly case, the one that went set the fire. Back to what I was saying, you guys. Yeah, so he's doing a judge only. Turn that down. Chauvin from the George Floyd case, y'all. So now they saying somebody tried to attack the jury. So now he's gonna go with judge only for the decision. But back to what I was saying, you guys, about the Michael Williams. This the part I don't understand. It say the plea agreement is fair and that the witness tampering charge as it remains. As it remains. I don't get what they're trying to say. The plea agreement is fair in that the witness tampering charge as it relates to R. Kelly, it will be dismissed. Okay, so witness tampering won't be on R. Kelly because they have to drop it. And Michael Williams took the charge for arson. So that's what he's saying. At charge, at the plea agreement is fair and that the witness tampering charge as it relates to R. Kelly will be dismissed at sentencing, said the defense lawyer. Oh, thank you, Pamela.
She said, I hope we're going to get a verdict that will say guilty, guilty, guilty. And if we don't, we cannot go away. And so she also talked about just being out there and demonstrating.
So I hope you heard me, Misty London.
Nelson's view, Chauvin's defense attorney, he felt that was a direct threat against the jury.
We was just talking about Precious Michael Williams taking a plea deal, and he admitted to burning the car. So they gave him a charge of arson, and he's getting 60 months in prison and a maximum of 71 months under federal sentencing guidelines. But I think this. Yeah, but they're saying that it's going to be good for Robert because at Robert's sentencing, it say the witness tampering charge will be dismissed. So right now it's just the arson charge since he admitted to it.
They listen to her. That's the one made the statement of the threat. They trying to say she did. One of the causes of the trial.
Yeah.
The defense trial Sherwood's case. They trying to use that shit now and to my two stories that contains this trial that was seen on TV. Like two shows or something.
I listened and on this call. Okay, Bobby, perfect. You called this morning? That's what I'm saying, Bobby. They've been said that. He agreed with others. So now I don't know if they're going to try to uh, make, say other names or what. But what I'm saying is, you mean to tell me that Rkelly is not supposed to know Michael Williams? What gave these people the reason to do this stuff? And then they keep saying all inside the report. Michael Williams, Rkelly's longtime friend. Doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. Movie stars, members of Congress, presidents of the United States have commented on this trial. The idea that one I know. It's okay, Precious. We were just going over to Michael Williams and him accepting the plea deal. And like I keep saying, when they do pleas, y'all, that just shows that their case is weak. That just shows that their case is weak. And they ain't got nothing. That's all they show. So I think that what it's going to be is all of them taking these plea deals, and I think that's all they're going to have. So they won't be having that charge. Witness Amos Carter, they won't be having the charge of witness tampering. That charge will be dropped because Michael Williams, they gave him a plea agreement and they stuck with arson. Arson. Is your common sense. And so, yes, you've heard about carbon monoxide, but there's a 9-minute and 20-second video. Yes, you heard about an enlarged heart, but there's a 9-minute and 20-second video. Yes, you heard about. And now, guys, I was letting you guys know in the Chauvin case, George Floyd. Now they're saying that a jury had got threatened. Jury deliberating murder, manslaughter charges against Derek Chauvin and death of George Floyd. So now he's saying that he want a judge only to make the decision. As a matter of straight presentation, the prosecution just has a more airtight case. Sharon Wu was with us as well. Sharon, you're early on this. The jurors, they got the instructions from the judge on the 3 specific charges facing Derek. This is crazy, y'all. Deliberations look like at this point.
Well, usually what the first thing they'll do when they go back there is they'll choose a foreperson. I think those will be, we'll learn later who it is. But there's a nurse, I think, on there, and people with that type of medical could exert a strong influence on it. And then typically they will start to go through the evidence.
So let me go ahead and pull this up. Exactly, they reaching a lot. But I know the witness tampering will be dropped, Miss Carter. And all they got on Michael Williams is arson. But I just really want to know, where did you come from? Where did you come from? We even,
and there are some issues with regard to control misconduct that could be
let me see. I wanted you guys to really hear this interview, so let me try to see if I can pull it up. Yeah, well, the jury, they are tired. From the Michael Williams case, they are tired.
Generally, when you
Okay, let me see. So we got that under control. So I'm guessing they're gonna keep Michael Williams in Brooklyn and go to the federal detention center so he can start his time. Okay, let me see. So in this Chauvin case, he making every excuse in the book. Now he don't want the okay. Here we go. Got it. So I'm gonna play this one first, and then I'm gonna let y'all just listen to the different things that he was saying and his agenda from the beginning with Robert.
George Floyd on the ground there with Derek Chauvin's knee on his neck. Yeah, I mean, they saw a lot more than 9 minutes and 29 seconds of Chauvin's knee on George Floyd's neck. They saw all of the video of all of the officers who were there and involved. And then on top of that, they saw, of course, the bystander video. But then
Okay, here we go.
The prosecution changed that number because at first it was 8 minutes and 46 seconds is what they initially.
Okay, this one first.
Reduced that to 7 minutes and 46 seconds. And when they saw all of the police videos, the jury saw.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. All right, cool. All right, so we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna get on in. So today we have Rkellys. He said he's not the manager, but he was introduced on the news and all the media outlets as his manager, but he is his, you said you're his advisor? You're his current advisor and consultant. So when Rkelly got locked up, there was you talking to the press, and there was Steve Greenberg, who was also talking to the press on Rkelly's behalf. You are kind of like one of the closest people to him, so I thought that it would be fit to interview you since we have a lot going on, a lot of.
And you'll see, Nick at Night didn't know. And like she said, well, all in the media, they're saying that you are his manager. And they let them run with that, you know? And once you put that as somebody's label, then it's going to be hard to get them off your label as that. Then you have to remember that even with this interview with Nick at Night, she didn't know. She just thinking she doing a regular interview. And then, well, I'm gonna let it play out, and then I'm gonna say what I think.
People have a lot of questions. They want to know a lot, and we're just gonna get right into it. So first, I'm gonna start off with basically who you are and how you became Rkelly's advisor or consultant.
Well, I'm Don Russell. Me and Rob go way back. We used to work together back in the day. We would play the piano and subways, and we would tap dance with my cousin, and we would constantly, fight over the stock. We were first. He was a few years older, so he didn't have to go to school at that time. So the rush hour time was the best time to get down there and really, make the best bang for your buck at the time. So that was how we actually met. Then after that, we ended our years in the streets. Rob went on, he was doing the music thing, and we were doing the dance thing. So we went off with Rob with my cousin. Went to the highest height dance.
No, Bobby, they said it. They said it's dropped against Robert too.
And he was doing the singing music. We would all meet up.
That's why I was reading it like 4 or 5 times, because I was like, y'all hear this?
Have fun and talk about, the good old days, being in Subway and things that we were going to do one day. So, being in the entertainment industry, of course, got my ears around about a lot of things we were dealing with going through.
They said they can't really hear you, so if you could like speak up a little bit.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
So like I said, being in the entertainment industry, we did a lot of I kept asking the crowd about what was going on in his career. We would also meet up the different towns and cities and things of that nature. You know, and when you're in the industry, you have access to to get certain updates, that from the inner circle versus what's being said out into the public. So that's just it. That's how we met each other over the years. That's all it was for about 20 plus years. How I became involved with his career was I heard the song I Admit. And at the time I was headed back out to California. I got business out in California that I was going back to re-engage with. And I heard the song, and I'm like, that can't be real. I heard rumors about, his money and his financial situations. But, when somebody's got to that height, there's always money stashed here, money invested in that. Like, how many times Donald Trump filed for bankruptcy, but he wasn't really broke. He had money, whatever.
Did y'all hear what Don just said? Oh no, when you in that caliber, like R. Kelly, there's always money everywhere and stash places. So now we see where the rumor was coming from when the feds kept saying they didn't trust with Robert to get out because he can have money stashed anywhere. And at his caliber, he can get money from anybody. Pay attention, y'all.
So in my mind, it was like, there's no way in the world he's just, maybe trying to escape some collectors, somebody trying to sue him. But that song out there was like, that's a little different because now that's him saying it. It's not me here in the room. And so I drove back to Chicago. I turned back around, went back to Chicago, and drove straight to his studio. And it was like, you say it ain't so. So he at the time was down there having an engagement, he was back to the studio, and just kind of broke down everything that we wanted to me, and I'm like, did you hear rap? And I'm like, wow, that's like to hear him say it out of his own mouth, candid about the situation that he was in, and I'm like, wow, so Rob, I've got a lot of history connected. By that time, I had opened the studio and worked with over 7 years with Sony as an A&R director there. I associate producer on Steve Harvey Bernie Mac show, and I had resources and connections in the industry. So I'm like, well, Rob, and then a lot of financial connections. I actually started a tech company at the time, and my restaurant business in California. So I had connections that I could reach out to, resources that I'm like, okay,
where you could like kind of like help him out and things like that.
Bobby, he's just like the rest of these people, just inserting himself. Robert met him through Will Eady. Robert was trying to get a gym, and Will Eady met Don, and then that's how Robert met Don. Robert was going through a lot at the time, we all know. So you get a guy to come around and people, how can I explain it? Just like if I had a friend and they was coming around me and then they just wear they welcome. They start coming around too much, not knocking when they come in my house, knocking on the door. They going out telling my business and stuff. They're the ones that spend out of your house and everybody wake up and then they be like this. So he's like that, like real clingy, but that's it. He's not no manager. He's not no engineer. He's not no A&R. He's not none of that, y'all. None of that. None of that. But my thing is, how can we say we from RobertSKelly, right? And when you look at that hold on, wait a minute, y'all. Let me turn this part up. Wait a minute. Not really, because Precious, remember he said that he knew Robert since they was kids. But when I was told, nah, he just met him in 2018. But see, of course he can go out and lie and say that because the only person that be able to, yeah. Okay, yo, let me finish playing this because I keep reading your comments and then it's stopping me because I want y'all to hear the other one. Hold on.
But it started off with like let's roll up our sleeves. There was no official position from the song. I didn't from what I had known. I never wanted to be another manager. But I have a fiduciary responsibility to my shareholders. And I take on this responsibility of the job title while I'm president and CEO of my company. So I just said, listen, let me come in and get some vibes. Let's open up some different channels to create, revenue. And that's essentially how it began. He was talking about, really kind of coming back and doing the shows and he wanted to embrace doing some writing, doing some theatrical, putting together like a content fulfillment center where he would write for different companies, whether it was commercials, books, whatever it was. We wanted to diversify the brand. And that's what we really did. Rkellys is a brand. It's not just a man, it's a brand. Rkellys works for the Rkellys brand. So it's like Michael Jordan brand Jordan. So the first thing was he had to be exterminated. A lot of, as part of what he had to do, kind of defined to me was there was a lot of internal. He called them snakes. That's what he said. Listen, hey, everybody out there is I'm a customer. He said, so right now I'm one and you two. And I'm like, he said, so that's all you need to worry about is go out and do the things and don't let nobody know what it is that you're doing. I'm like, okay, no problem. Being managed by Mason, James Mason, at the time, the coach, down over. So the first thing was really, when you're actually building a brand, you have to find out how fragile it is and how unstable it is. What the foundation is made up of. So
basically, like who's a part of the team, who don't need to be a part of the team, and
building a whole new team. I had brought in some guys from Goldman Sachs. I had brought in some IT guys building the platforms. I brought in some investors. We did a roundtable meeting. He loved it because it was like, okay, this is a fresh start at the beginning. So everything was moving. I mean, we had purchased some properties, some studios in, and all that kind of stuff.
Did y'all hear that?
Actually, with the person, one of our investors gifted us with it. We still had to clear it up. And we had really started embracing this new transition that he was ready to, dive into. But the issue was his financing kind of in the toilet. So I covered as much as I could with the permission of my shareholders for about 3 or 4 months. I mean, whatever it was that he could have, it was an investment to us. It's like, this is a guy that we are in the entertainment industry, tech applications that we build for the entertainment industry. To put his name on those platforms, and those different applications, we felt that it would attract, a higher level of market.
Like revenue?
Well, that's next. I mean, but you have to be attractive to the stakeholders, people that want to come in and help rebuild the brand. So we did that. And then the thing about Lifetime, we were with Lifetime while we were out on the tour. And it was like, okay, we can't take the next steps until we figure out how people just rabbit hole is. So what I did was I dispatched the team and started investigating. What we were hearing the chatter about the Lifetime thing. And
you're talking about the first surviving Rkelly. You guys were on tour, and then while you were on tour, the surviving Rkelly aired, and then from there you kind of devised a plan to and investigate, is what you're saying, as to the rumors that was alleged. Is that what I'm gathering?
It's something like that, right? Exactly. So the first part of it to me was, okay, we've already heard about the young lady. I know how.
Did y'all hear the part just now when he said that we bought out studios? Rob and him ain't buy no studio together. But you see the narrative he was pushing. Pay attention. I'm ready. All this there.
And we actually heard them say those very words when they were in one of their guys. When they were
okay. All right. Listen.
I guess for better word, treacherous, a sworn fan or a sworn text or anything would be. But that wasn't anything new or shocking because I had worked with some of the fans and all those guys have been challenged in so many different XYZ. So, some women accused him of XYZ wasn't really a big deal. But when we started hearing about the federal investigations and stuff, that's when we were like, okay, we need to see how serious that kind of stuff is. So, the first thing was like, Rob, where did all the money go? Like, you got hits all over the world. You should be receiving royalties on a quarterly basis. He was like, like, what's that? I'm like, you don't know what royalties are? And I have to break it down.
Power on. Bluetooth mode.
Elevated music.
Bluetooth connected.
Performance royalties are your downloads, streams, and all that kind of stuff. Performance royalties are when you do performance like using a plate at a halftime of a game and all that kind of stuff. Those are royalties that are being collected, and ASCAP and BMI is responsible for that. And those royalties are collected, and they can go into the label would actually control that. Whoever handles your distribution, and then you will get a quarterly disbursement. It's like, I don't know if I've ever received one in my life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we actually got access. He gave us access to the Sony portal and the BMI portal, and that's where it actually started for us. And when we started digging into it, and we were seeing all these ancillary companies set up. He would have like the RSK Enterprises.
Did this happen before or after the documentary? So you guys start digging into, okay, so you guys started to dig into his finances, trying to figure out, where his money is, why he's not getting royalties. You guys started prying into these things. He gave you access into his, you said BMI portal?
BMI portal and BMI is in the Sony portal.
Okay.
Sony owns RCA Records, so that's where, in the portal is where all of the copies of his contracts, his licensing deals, all that stuff sits in there. So we're talking hundreds of contracts over the years that Sony inherited when they bought him from Zamba, which was Jive Records. So all those contracts are sitting there, and that's where it's like an archive of all of his contracts. So when I specifically said, so Rob, how much of your publishing do you own? And
okay.
I don't know. So we went in and we saw that he only owned 10% of his publishing because they had auctioned off his publishing to pull in the money for his first crop. They borrowed $9 million, and they by the name of Daryl McDavid. And I'm like, Rob, why did you have to borrow against your publishing when you are doing all these shows? You got all this money coming in from overseas records, royalties, and all that kind of. Why are you borrowing against your publishing? You should have enough money, to have paid for that trial and whatever else you needed. Because what we started realizing was that he didn't own anything. I mean, they were in the apartment, the studio. They were paying. They had took out put a mortgage on them when they didn't need to. And that's Joan and Linda, Joan Sullivan and Linda Mitz. It was just so many things in it.
To make sure that the community is safe with the officers and the guards and all that. But there's a lot of concern here on what to do following the first. Chief Peter, cities around the country, not just in Minneapolis, they're following suit, including right here in Washington, D.C., where I am. The U.S. Army is made up the National Guard forces to deploy in this capital. What do these preparations look like behind the scenes? And I know you've been involved over many years. Well, thank you.
You guys know there's so many distractions. Try to get so many people to stop from playing the interview. Pay attention, y'all.
Just didn't seem right. Like, what the hell? Like, where's the money? Like, but so what happened was in that asking that question, I brought in some entertainment attorneys, and they started digging, and we started finding the money. It's like, Rob, the money is coming in, it's just not coming to you. I mean, you got people set up over here.
And this was all before the docuseries?
Yeah, this is all. I mean, this is like the history of stuff that had been happening, and Rob was getting like a weekly allowance. So he got $100,000 a week allowance, and as long as he got that, he
was comfortable with that.
He was comfortable, but he also believed that his previous managers and accountants were putting his money in areas that would produce a return. Meaning he had invested in nightclubs and purchased properties and stuff, and he's thinking that stuff was earning him interest, when in actuality, none of that stuff was in his name. They just used his money to secure it, and they used his social security number, which was the bad thing for all of those corporations they set up to take in the cash. So that's how he got into that tax problem where he owed the government $18 million, I think it was, when he first got on board. And it was like, this is unethical practices. And his previous general manager, which was Dale McDavid, to be a certified public accountant, why would he do that? That was the first question. Why would he put you in a position to have?
Yeah.
Right. So, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. It's like Dale was an accountant. How does Rob have tax issues? I mean, so. Yeah,
like that's what the accountant's job is, to take care of that.
We started off as an accountant. Barry Hankerson hired Daryl as the accountant.
Barry Hankerson is Aaliyah's uncle, right?
He's Aaliyah's uncle, but he's also Rob's first manager. Rob met him when he was auditioning for, he auditioned for a musical at the Riga Theater. Barry was the executive producer of it. And Barry was married to Gladys Knight. He managed Timberland, Missy Elliott, Tony Braxton, and groups like that.
Is it true that Aaliyah, some of his publishing for, I believe I Could Fly or something like that, is signed over to Aaliyah's parents?
No, 18% of Rob's entire publishing, not just from one song, his entire publishing catalog is signed over to Barry Hankerson and Aaliyah family. And that's deals that people don't make. I mean, it's like, how did they get even the labels after 36 years have to return 50% of the publishing back to the original author of the publishing. So, and that poses, just remember that part of what I said, because that poses the question on some of the things that he's going through now, who's really investing in him not taking control back of his publishing.
So basically, you think that when you guys started to pry, what it sounds like is when you guys started to pry into his financials, you seen that he had 18% of his publishing of his entire catalog signed over to Barry and Aaliyah's family. You seen that money was different places, and then you guys started to pry into his finances. Then this whole thing started, you would say, about these, or what do you think?
Well, Rob owned 10%, so 90% of his publishing, he did not own it. He started off with 50%. It was a 50-50 deal. He had 50, the label had 50, which is typical. But an artist of Rkellys statute, being that a majority of his revenue came at one point from publishing, and he had already been a proven, success story. When he went from Zamba to Sony, he should have had a better deal. Whoever negotiated the Sony contract should have made it 25-75, something of that nature. But 50-50 is not bad. Most artists get that, and that's still a lot of money. But in diving into that his Sony portal and his business on the music side, and the reason we wanted to do that was because we had to get him gas. The brand is a machine, and it has to have gas money in order to operate. Not RobertSKelly, but the brand Rkellys. Because you have to hire people, to maintain certain things, and if it's not, bringing any revenue in, then of course, you don't have the money that it takes to grow the brand and do other things with it. So, in doing that, we really started seeing that, okay, this is one area of his life that he has no handle over. He's typically or basically been believing in all this time that he was financially stable and straight, but in actuality, he wasn't. So that is to me where it all began. And that started from day one. Barry was his first manager.
Why was 18% of his publishing signed over to Aaliyah's family?
That part I don't know. I can't explain why they cut that deal. But I'm not going to even assume anything, because I never asked Rob that question. Why does Barry, Barry and the Horton family own 18% of your publishing? Back in those days, you got to think about it, we're talking about 35 years ago. Rkelly was a kid out of the subways of Chicago, partially educated, just happy to have a deal. So he would have signed anything to get that chance to start him at that time.
Oh, y'all couldn't hear me? Oh my God, this stupid thing. Let me take it back. I thought y'all was listening. So he's talking about Bruce and them not coming, talking to the media, and that he would do all the talking. And what I was saying was he didn't have that authorization. He wasn't a manager, A&R, nor a engineer. So he was talking about this since last year. And then he's talking about he'll be the one that's going to do the talking, and he has planned some I cannot breathe right now. Judgment. Oh boy, some basically.
Most self-employed and
like
1099 contractors have no idea they can actually qualify
what I'm
for a
saying
100%
is,
forgivable PPP.
he did all of that, but now he has came out and said that threw Bruce and his brother under the bus. So why were you there saying that Bruce and them, how they gonna talk, what they could say, and then he gonna just say all dumb that R. Kelly and Aaliyah's mom was in a relationship? How would you know that if you wasn't even with them? He sound like Greenberg when Greenberg said that R. Kelly married Aaliyah and she lied about her age. Now her mom and dad is around all the time. How she gonna lie about her age? Okay, so let me finish putting this on y'all.
Control back of his publishing.
So basically, you think that when you guys started to pry, well, what it sounds like is when you guys started to pry into his financials, you seen that he had 18% of his publishing of his entire catalog signed over to Barry and Aaliyah's family. You seen that money was different places, and then you guys started to pry into his finances. Then this whole thing started, you would say, about the, what do you think?
Well, Rob owned 10%, so 90% of his publishing he did not own. He started off with 50%. It was a 50-50 deal. He had 50, the label had 50, which is typical. But an artist of R. Kelly's statute, being that a majority of his revenue came at one point from publishing, and he had already been a proven, success story. When he went from Zamba to Sony, he should have had a better deal. Whoever negotiated the Sony contract should have made it 25-75, something of that nature. But 50-50 is not bad. Most artists get that, and that's still a lot of money. But in diving into that his Sony portal and his business on the music side, and the reason we wanted to do that was because we had to get him gas. The brand is a machine, and it has to have gas money in order to operate. Not Robert Kelly, but the brand R. Kelly, because you have to hire people. You have to hire people to maintain certain things, and if it's not, bringing any revenue in, then of course, you don't have the money that it takes to grow the brand and do other things with it. So, in doing that, we really started seeing that, okay, this is one area of his life that he has no handle over. He's typically or basically been believing in all this time that he was financially stable and straight, but in actuality he wasn't. So that is to me where it all began. And that started from day one. Barry was his first manager.
Why was 18% of his publishing signed over to Aaliyah's family?
That part I don't know. I can't explain why they cut that deal. But and I'm not going to even assume anything because I never asked Rob that question. Why does Barry, why Barry and the Horton family own 18% of your publishing? Back in those days, you got to think about it. You're talking about 35 years ago. R. Kelly was a kid out of the suburbs.
But I'm confused because R. Kelly saying he just met him through Will Eady, then how the hell did he know him from when Robert was a kid and younger? The story's not adding up. Now, I'm not saying people not from Chicago, but yeah, everybody from Chicago. I'm not. Okay, so let me see.
in Chicago, partially educated, just happy to have a deal. So he would have signed anything to get that chance to start him at that time. This ain't nothing that he signed yesterday. This was in his beginning. I mean, you talking about he was 23, 24 years old. He got a record deal out of, coming out of the subways, doing big breaks. So that was like, I could see why he would do that.
So that didn't happen after the Aaliyah situation? No. That happened before?
So when I done torn apart this family, I'm gonna make sure y'all got something to be quiet and to stay out of it. You know what I mean? Because at that time, Rob was the golden goose. So to stop them from going public on what really happened, what part Mary handed it, who gave them a percentage of what was going on.
What part happened with what?
I mean, with the whole marriage with Aaliyah, which wasn't really a marriage, they applied for a marriage certificate, but they never actually had a ceremony, so it was never a marriage. So that's why they went the whole route of annulment. But Rob and Aaliyah's mom was in a relationship, and Mary's and Aaliyah's father had an issue with that.
Wait. Rkelly and Aaliyah's mom, you said, was in a relationship first?
Yeah.
Okay, because there was allegations that...
Listen to this bullshit. He talking about Robert and Aaliyah's mom was in a relationship and Aaliyah's father and Rob had it out. Knowing goddamn well Aaliyah's mom came out and debunked the lies about her daughter. She never said one, See, this is why it's always better to go back. Because I missed it. I don't understand how this man was able to come out of his mouth and say that Aaliyah and Robert and her mother had a relationship. This is crazy.
She slept with Rkelly, but I didn't know the validity of it if she actually really was with him. So the mama, you saying the mom was with him and then he got with the daughter?
Let's look at all of these scenarios let's just look at the ones that people know that's public. Aaliyah, Clary, and Savage. Rob was with the mothers first. And as part of what the mothers asked Rob to do was, my daughter's a singer. Can you please look out for a trainer and get her right and make her record, make her famous, make her a star? So as him being said, okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna do that.
Wait. You said Aaliyah, Clary, and Savage. That's
the horse. Aaliyah's parents, mother.
Okay, and
which is John Julian Savage, and Clary, which is Allison Clary. They were involved with Rob. The mothers were involved with him, and they pushed the daughters on him. That's what happened in each instance.
Do y'all hear this bullshit? Do y'all hear this lying shit? This man just said Robert was with Joycelyn's mom. He was with the Clary's mother, Aaliyah's mom, and then he was with the daughters. Like, and y'all think this man is for Robert? Are y'all crazy? Like, these are people that just want clout, don't know shit. This is crazy. Miss Joanne, please watch over your son. These people are nuts. I can't get over that. That's what happened first. That ain't never, and then we know where the narratives was coming from when Team True kept saying Robert was with Aaliyah's mom. Robert was with Aaliyah's mom. Now it seemed like to me he's sitting up here admitting that Robert was with the goddamn Aaliyah, and he admitting that Robert was with some of these alleged victims. He talking about they was with the this dude right here. Let's finish listening to these damn lies.
I don't know, we froze.
Oh, hello? I don't know what happened. It kind of froze.
Yeah,
okay. Okay, now go ahead. So you said he was with the mothers first, and so you're insinuating that he was with Joycelyn's mom first too?
Yes.
And Azriel's mother as well? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
In what way?
I mean, a relationship. I mean, I wasn't in the room to witness what.
Okay, we gonna say allegedly.
No, right. This is for real. This is out the horse's mouth. He told me, and he confirmed.
You hear this? He said Robert told him out the horse's mouth. Was he fucking serious? Yo, we not even gonna play like this. We know this is not freaking true, man. Like straight up, let's stop the bullshit. Stop. And this all everybody always say, Robert told me out his own mouth. And this don't even make sense because if Robert did tell him that, what the hell would he be doing seeing this shit on Nick at Night? This fool is the worst. Like the lies just keep going, and this is why a lot of people who claim him over there, that's why they be running around like, oh yeah, Rob told me that Don was his manager. Stop it. How Rob tell you that, but Rob telling his own family and people that he's been close to for over 50-some years, Don was never his manager. So if he did tell you that, he playing you. Let's finish listening to these lies.
Certain things, and that's where, when you think about how Aaliyah's father was. Wait.
Okay, I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm sorry to back off, but okay. So, just go, because we just gonna say allegedly. You saying you heard it from him, but I'm just gonna say allegedly.
No, listen. If it was me, allegedly, this is the king of R&B. Let's not act like there aren't women all around the world that want a piece of R. Kelly. That's just what it is. I mean, I've been there when the mother was on one side, the daughter was on the other side. It was like, whichever one he chose, he could have it. You know what I mean? That's
what? Do y'all hear this shit? And you know what's crazy? I never paid this interview no mind. Never. This is sick. And people think that this is a good reputation for Robert. When Aaliyah's mother came out and said nothing happened. This is upsetting. This is very upsetting because at the end of the day, now you talking about, Rob, he's R. Kelly, so that's how he did it. He would get the mom first, then them. Like, what? You seem like you like hating. What man worries about another man's penis?
His life. That's no different from a lot of these guys that's that high up in the industry. Rock stars, pop stars, all of them have the same option. You know what I mean? They can choose left or right or both. You know what I mean? So, and that's the thing, is like people get so like pop stars, all of them have the same option. You know what I mean? They can choose left or right or both. You know what I mean? So, and that's the thing, is like people get so like confused when women talk about this kind of stuff. So do men. I mean, it's like I think some of these websites have mom and daughter. That ain't just something somebody thought of. It happens, and it happens with some of the top celebrities in this stuff in this world. So Rob had a relationship with Leah's mom. The father came in the studio one day with a gun, pulled it on him and said, "Stay the fuck away from my family." Then
did y'all hear this shit? He said Aaliyah's father came in the studio, put a gun to Robert and said, "Stay the fuck away from my wife and my daughter." But the mom came out with a public statement saying that none of it was true. And, oh my God, I'm pissed off. I am pissed off. Every 13 people in this chat, please put a 1 in the chat put a 1 in the chat if you believe this. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't believe this. Please. Like, this is beyond crazy. Like, what the heck is going on? These people are freaking insane. It's taking long for y'all to respond. I can't believe this.
Which Barry was responsible for eliminating, for basically ending that situation, because he's the one that started it. And that's how that backed out. There was never a marriage; it was an annulment. If anybody does the research, they'll see that. Fast forwarding ahead to John and Allison, it's the same thing. They both went in, slept with him first. When you produce my daughter, and then after that happened, then it was like he had the daughters, and the daughters would tell my mom trying to use you and all this old stuff, because each one of them presented different business deal transactions that they wanted Rob to sign off on. I think Allison had a sex dildo, and that's from the horse's mouth. She had a dildo that she wanted.
Allison Clary, right? That's Azriel's mother.
Right. She wanted Rob to put some voiceovers, so when you turn on the dildo, it would say stuff like "I feel so freaky tonight," all that kind of stuff while the dildo's on, vibrating. He refused to do that, and Angelo, the father, put deals in front of him as well that Rob backed away from, and that's when things got hostile with them. Same thing with Tim Savage and John. They had some lingerie boutiques, and they wanted Rob to buy all of the stuff out of the lingerie boutiques for his girl when he was doing the Black Panties tour, and he refused to do that. You know what I mean? And things started going sour whenever they trying to use their daughters to push things in front of them, because Rob went past after he had the mothers, and now he's with the daughters, and the daughters is putting the.
Do y'all hear this shit? How he's saying after Rob had sex with the mothers, now he went after the daughters. Do y'all hear this shit? All this shit for clout. Like, this shit is crazy. And I see why I ain't watched these interviews, because I never was a Don fan. Never cheered Don on, Don nothing. This is fucking trifling. Like, this is crazy. And I see why people that say anybody that deal with him or listen to him, like, you insane. Or you got hidden agendas, because this man is not right. He's not right at all.
I can't breathe, even when he was on his feet when he was first apprehended, and that was meant to suggest that later on, Sheldon didn't have to believe that when it came up again. That's what Nelson was really saying to the jury when he was saying we circumstances, totality of the circumstances. But I think at the end of her argument, the attorney is not looking for an acquittal. He's really looking more for one or two holdout jurors and get himself a measure. All in all, I think that the best case with a very difficult case.
All the stuff that the mom's like conspiring on against him, he just backs up completely. So that's typically the scenario of what happened between the relationship. And then you got these fathers who now didn't benefit at all. I mean, who are just on a revenge trip right now. Because you got to think about what would drive a man to go as hard. I mean, they don't care about their daughters. I mean, Azrael's doing documentaries a day after leaving them, and Joycelyn, Rooney to go back to her, and he's locked up. I mean, so if these were situations where these men had, or these families were the ones that they are trying to proclaim, it wouldn't be that difficult for Georgia or whatever, or Azrael to go back home. And it was just ran back home the moment he was locked up. I mean, but the money dried up. I mean, Azrael, couldn't get any more money out of Rob, and she had nothing else to fall back on, so that's why she started, listening to Dad and getting involved with these documentaries and all the things that she's doing right now, generating money.
Okay, so I mean, I'm just still shocked. I'm just listening to it. I'm still shocked. And I do have to say the views and opinions are alleged because I wasn't there, and just to protect our platform. But I hear, you are his right hand man. You're his consultant. You guys were together when he, was on his way to trial, and I seen like you spoke out to the news media. You were with him all these different times. So
let me say something first. What I won't say is I'm his right hand. What I will say is my hand is back.
That's more.
And because of my experience in the industry, I knew how to dig and look at places that a lot of people that are not in the industry and don't understand how this industry works wouldn't understand where to dig and where to look to find certain things. Rob and I were friends, absolutely. I mean, that was the majority of our relationship. We were friends that grew up, and Rob showed me that a person could make it from the subway. So with that being said, I never asked him for anything else. All I needed was evidence that it was possible for that to happen. So when he went off and got his deal, our thing was Broadway, and that's what we did. So we went to the top of our field. I was just more comfortable being behind the scenes and doing that kind of stuff. So me coming on your show now, because we talked a while ago, and I told you, listen, I'm not interested in doing anything, but after that, people went on a mudslinging episode with throwing Don's name in the dirt and all this kind of stuff, because the work that I have performed and the research that I did, it will shine a different truth on what people are focused on today. It shows the conspiracy that dates back to the beginning of his career and why people have motive to do some of the things that are being done that's keeping him in prison right now. And the only way now, knowing, because, once it got out, and I had to go on a couple of shows, blog shows, and defend my own self, because, you got people talking about I did this and stole that and all that crap. It's like, no, I'm not gonna, don't unearth me, because I will come out and say something. But that was a smear tactic to discredit me, so that, and I'm not saying, public opinion matters, it does. But to discredit me, so when I did finally speak out, it was like, don't listen to that guy. And, I don't really care about that kind of stuff. People, whatever people say about me, because I know who I am as a person. But in the instance right now of Rob and his freedom, some of the research and intel that we gathered paints a totally different picture than what people are focused on. Everything right now that's in the media is smoke and mirrors. People are focused on, the girls and thinking that this got something to do with that, when it really doesn't. I mean, these young ladies are, the reason they are allowing that to happen because they're keeping the folks that really dishonored him hidden. They don't want, people like yourself who have who mobilized an entire infantry of Rkellys supporters to go find out the dirt that the actual people who got him in this situation have committed. Because then when that starts to leak, That's their case. Their case is not Johanna Pace. Their case is not Faith Rogers. Their case is not Kitty and all those folks. That's not the case. Robert beat their hands down. The case is this RICO, this trafficking, this criminal enterprise that they're trying to accuse him of. And it's like, okay, how do we sneak that in there? Why is that not being the topic of anything that's discussed on any of these platforms? Because when the gauntlet comes down, they don't want their case to be tampered with. They want to open and shut the case, and they don't want him to have any type of defense. So my goal here lately, because Rob sent the message out, Don, and changed the narrative. They won't talk to me, and I've reached out to Greenberg and those guys on multiple occasions. They won't talk to me.
Why won't they talk to you?
Typically, I believe they're working for the other side, and I don't have anything nice to say about them. When Rob first caught the case, it was real simple. It was a smaller case. It was Johanna Pace, Faith Rise, and a few other folks, the girls. And Rob brought me in the studio with Greenberg, just the three of us. And he said, actually, there was another young lady in the studio as well. He said, Don, Greenberg is my choice. I want you to work with him. I said, okay, no problem. Same thing to Greenberg. He shook my hand, Bob walked out, and he started talking about a fucking orgy or something that he was going to be having that weekend, and he was missing out on because of the stuff with Rkellys. I'm like, first of all, dude, that ain't...
You saying the lawyer? Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's a pig. That ain't my business, and why is that's the first thing out your mouth. You don't break the ice with somebody by talking about stuff like that. And then on multiple occasions, I'm like, listen, I've reached out to Mr. Greenberg, this is intel that you need. One, let's attack these smaller cases and get some victories on Rob's side. Let's motion up the smaller cases, like against the Johanna cases and all. Let's get some victories. Let's get the momentum flowing in our direction. And the intel that we have can really prove that these women are lying. Let's get the momentum. So when you go to the major case, which is the Homeland Security case, you've got momentum. And then here are some things that you may not know about. Now, listen, I'm not going to, Greenberg may be a nice guy, but if he's having orgies or something, somebody would love to participate in that, so he may be cool. But as far as his legal acumen, I question that. I brought in Meserol, who said he's not the guy that I would ever work with, and that's why Meserol is not on the team. Steinbeck, I didn't bring him in, but I consulted with Steinbeck to talk.
So now he brought in Meserol. Well, with Meserol money? Like, this is crazy, yo. I can't believe this dude. Exactly. But for you to put out there that Robert had sex with the mothers? Are you serious? And don't nobody find this shit suspect? Now all of a sudden somebody stole the music. Yo. All these, it's crazy because all the freaking men. Like, what? This is crazy. And Robert ain't get this man no. And this is what pissed me off. When everybody know this man is in an indictment. And when people run around the YouTube streets about, yeah, Rob said that's his manager. Yeah, he the manager. So basically, y'all are aligning Robert with him. And he's in an indictment right now. Dummies.
On several, Jeff Steinbeck, on several occasions, he's negotiated. I'm not working with him.
But it's different with Greenberg with them. He don't like Greenberg, Bob, because none of the lawyers deal with him. None of them. So it's different for somebody else to say, okay, they don't like Greenberg because Greenberg not doing his job or whatever. But he don't like Greenberg because from the beginning, they would not work with him. They were ducking him. They wasn't answering his calls. That's the only reason why. Like that, come on, man. This is some crazy stuff right here. And then we see where all the narratives came from.
Certainly, early on, I did speak with the White House when this began, and they extended their.
Other legal advisor on some of the highest levels have all stated he's a gunslinger. He doesn't know what he's doing. And the fact of the matter is, when he took on Rob's case, there was lesser charges. It's like an example is, it's like you represent, guys who've got traffic infractions, And a guy comes and says, listen, I ran 2 lights and hit a parked car. And you take the case, okay, I'm going to defend you. But then when you get into the case and you find out after discovery that not only did he do that, but he was fleeing the police, he robbed 2 banks, shot 3 people, and killed his brother. As an attorney, you say, whoa, that's too big. That's not what I signed up for. You need some bigger guys, and I will give them a bigger firm the research that I've had, and that's who's going to represent you. You don't keep the case knowing that that's not what you signed up for. You don't have the wherewithal to defend Rob against those type of charges. He's never been in that arena before. Scott Peterson, he did represent, Drew Peterson, I think it was. He represented him, but he got, that was incompetence. But, he's never been at this level before. And I tell people, I say, listen, just because you've got a lawyer doesn't mean that you've got someone that can properly adjudicate your case. The lawyer. He may be a good one at certain levels. But Rob needs a legal defense team. Michael Jordan's a great basketball player. But if it wasn't for the other 4 guys and the guys on the bench, he wouldn't have won the rings. That's a team. And right now, Greenberg is not an excellent litigator. He's not an excellent researcher. And he's definitely not an excellent negotiator. So where's the...
I was just baffled when he gave validity to the fake Joycelyn account. I was just like, that kind of like, I was like, what? Because, when there was that whole Patreon account that was supposed to have been Joycelyn Savage.
Right.
And it was her, like, allegedly, like, making up these claims. And then, to me, like, I read it and right away, I was like, that's with what the parents or anybody has. So the things that took place, like, none of it lines up, and it sounded just like I could have wrote it. It didn't sound, anything wasn't, like, personalized to them or what a girlfriend, boyfriend relationship would be like. It was just like, I watch a documentary and I say, okay, this is what happened with me and Rob based on what other people said. That's kind of what it sounded like. And for him to give validity to that without knowing if it was her or not, right. I was like, that's kind of strange. And then he never came back out and said that it wasn't her. He just deleted the tweet. So I was like, I raised an eyebrow to that. But other than that, I don't know about his lawyering.
Ever since Rob has had Greenberg, he's been getting locked up. Period. I mean, it's the day after the studio he decided to move out the studio. We had wrote a press conference that for the city, and I had a team of people write the press conference. I write the press release, and it basically stated, and it came out for about 2 minutes on TMZ, stating that he had made a decision to move. It was his ability to continue to produce music with all the distractions was no longer something that he could do effectively at that property. He wants to thank his fans and his million fans. He's going to take a break now and find him another place. And then it didn't say anything negative about the city. It was more like, we understand what the city had to do. We fully support the city, their investigation, all of that kind of stuff. And we put that out there. Greenberg retracted it, put out a statement comparing him to Michael, like some of the biggest musicians in the world, and Fred Astaire, all this stuff. And it's like, and
it's going in and out.
And then the very next day, Rob got arrested. When we were getting Rob's cases, some of the civil cases, you don't, as a person getting a civil case, you don't have to. It's a contract. You don't have.
Why was you dealing with Rob's civil cases? Now we see what was going on with the Brian Nick situation when Don Russell wrote a letter to Faith Rogers and lawyer. That was not his business. That was the lawyer's job. And that's why when he got indicted, that's a part of his indictment. Like, this is crazy. And it's something you just don't say you on YouTube.
The city of Minneapolis just a couple of days ago voted to remove traffic enforcement from the police department from armed
it's crazy.
Police to a more civilian unit.
Agree to that contract. So by him hiring Greenberg and Greenberg answering that we will continue to fight these cases, that entered Rob into certain contracts that he did not have to enter into. What we were doing was we were basically saying, listen, we don't consent to these contracts and we're not going to move forward. We stated as UCC rights, which is the Uniform Control Code 1-308, that He's an individual, and an individual does not have to form a contract with a corporation, period. And that's what we're coming after him. The judicial system is a corporation. So when we were doing that, all those lawsuits were going away. When Greenberg started taking this case, jockeying for positions, throwing his face in front of the public, to get popularity, started going to jail. His most recent response was to fight, and he said that was a publicity stunt to get their YouTube followers.
He said it was staged. Yeah.
It was the stupidest thing to say, though. First of all, what he should have pointed out was this is an example of what these women do when they love him one day and hate him the next. I mean, that's typically what that was, and it was good that we have that because it shows. Rkellys a couple of days on Gayle King saying we love him, all this old stuff. He's this, he's that, he's the greatest man in the world. He's never done this. Then the very next day she's plotting on, oh yeah, y'all think y'all did. If somebody going to jail up in here, you slept, all the stupid stuff that was done. How did she go from one extreme to the next? And what happened between that? What happened was she had tried to hustle him for some money, extort him for some money while he was locked up. And, and he told her no, for just reasons, he doesn't have it. And from that point forward, she flew out to California and met with Shabazz. He paid her. And now, she's, getting money in that direction. So now all of a sudden, in order for her to have a livelihood and continue her 15 minutes of fame, she got to come out against him. But it clearly showed how somebody could love.
First of all, Azriel did not fly to no damn California. As Shabazz came to Chicago. So that's why I'm saying his stories is all mixed up. And you could tell he just going off hearsay and what he want to put in the narratives. I can't believe this. I never seen this damn interview. Like I said, I never was a Don fan. I came in this fight for Robert. So if he ain't Robert day one or knew him for over 40, 50 years, I wasn't interested anyway. And then when he called the indictment, it was like, oh no, this is out of pocket. Like, I understand what you're saying, Bobby, but on some real stuff, he talking about all this lawyer stuff and all this, but he the one that wrote the damn letter, acting like a damn lawyer, telling the alleged victim, like threatening them to stand down and that they better not pursue charges. Then that fake letter that was sent to the judge about Robert, they got his name written all over it. Got his name written all over it, and it's a shame. That's why the lawyers wasn't dealing with him, because the lawyers wasn't talking to him. Just like now, the lawyers don't deal with him.
Up in one day.
And Doug said that on the recording. If y'all forgot, Doug said on that recording that Don came to speak to him, and then he said, and Doug said, and he spoke to Brian Nix, and he asked Don, was he collecting anything of Robert name, money, and all that, because he know he can't do that. And Doug was saying, my defense is the only defense fund that Robert agreed to. But Doug said that he was telling Don, like, I hope you ain't doing that you ain't supposed to be doing, and you don't got to do this and that. We the lawyers, let us handle it. Like, this man is crazy.
Moment, non-factor hate him the exact next. A couple days later. So instead of him pointing that out, I think he always has opportunities to move the needle forward, but his direct responses show somebody who's not acting in the best interest of Rob, because you're supposed to consult with several attorneys and even a crisis manager and a publicist before you put out a statement. But his statements, like when he put out the statement.
So he contradicting himself. You should have been talking to Robert and all that before you start going to all these YouTube channels and talking to lawyers before you start putting out all these statements. That's some hypocrite. You got Robert's music, and you should have made a statement to the lawyers and stuff before somebody broke in your car and stole it. And then when they did steal it, you should have went out here and got into contact with Robert and his team. Like, I can't believe this. Like, this is crazy. This is hurtful. Like, this is just too much. Exactly, Pamela. Like, this dude, and we see why Robert's case is so jacked up. Like, I never seen men like this that just talk. Just talk. That's why you can see who the real men are. Keith don't come on here talking. Keith don't never come on here talking crazy. Like, this is beyond me. I'm sorry. This is beyond me. And Robert gives nobody permission to do none of this stuff they doing. Make that make sense.
Statement about Rob needs to get out because he said his civil rights were violated. That's true. But then he said he also needs to go home and see his two girlfriends. Why would you put, when you file a motion for someone, and if that motion gets denied, you lose the ability to refile that motion. So now, with that being denied for his civil liberties, which is something to fight for, he coupled it with he needs to see his two girlfriends. They deny it because of the girlfriends and not his liberties were, denied. It's like the black stain on the white shirt. You just ruined the damn shirt with that. Why would you even say that? As a lawyer, you should know better than to say that. So, and then the thing about the toe. I mean, it's like, come on, stop screwing up. The precedence that these lawyers need to go after a bond or house arrest with putting stupid things in the pie and messing it up. And that's what he keeps doing. Like me as a regular person, that's not a lawyer. I have studied, my rights. I do know my rights and things of that nature, and I do study law. But lawyers are saying, what the hell is wrong with this guy? And it's not just me. I've talked to several lawyers and said, he's got to get a new attorney. And it's not up to a new attorney to fire his own, and Rob has to do that. That's just the legal code. It's a brotherhood. So
when's the last time you talked to him?
I had word from him last week.
Oh, okay, so you guys are in current communication and everything?
We communicate, we have a way to communicate, yeah.
Okay, is it through like the emails or?
No, they read all the emails. It's different. It's more simpler than that. So,
okay,
yeah.
But you guys are in current communication.
Yeah, we are. I mean, me and Rob, there's certain things when you know how things are supposed to be and what you're supposed to do, you don't have to get somebody's talk to them every day to go do what it is you do. It's like when you hire Dennis Rodman to get rebounds, you don't have to tell Dennis Rodman when he gets on the court, get rebounds. It's like I'm in this position for a certain reason. He knows my history of what I've done with other companies, which is why he turned a lot of stuff over to me in the first place. So he doesn't have to tell me to do certain things that I know are right by him to get him in a better position to one day or two to take his case and get his freedom back.
Okay. It is 1,800 of you guys right now in the chat. I want you guys all to hit the like button if you guys have not already. I'm going to have a question and answers from you guys shortly, where you guys can ask certain questions. I can't slow it down the chat with StreamYard, so it's going by fast. So if you guys have a specific question that you want me to ask, then the best way for me to see it is to send in a super chat or something like that, and it'll like flash a color, and I'll be able to see it better. But hold off on that. But yeah, so we're going to continue this. I'm going to have the questions and answers from you guys in a second. If you guys like this interview so far, hit the like button. And now we're just going to go back and talk some more. Okay, so it's just, I haven't even had to ask, that many questions because you just kind of been, filling everything in. But so when it comes to Azriel and Joycelyn, so you say the situation with Azriel, the reason why she decided to flip to the other side, you're alleging that she basically wanted to get money from him. He said no, and therefore she found a way to get money through Shabazz, who is the guy who's currently doing her documentary.
Shabazz, there's a lot of folks that's looking for somebody to swing mud, and her turning to the other side. It's like good movie. I mean, you know, when the guy that was like wrestling, so when the guy that's two teammates, you know, one of them turns and beats his teammate over the head, that pushes the ratings up. So and what's tragic in this case is that the media is really controlling public opinion with this, and that they have deep resources and a deep influence. And so many people are, you know, like Azriel and George, who were initially talented, who were searching, you know, for their stardom. You know, people, you know, I don't want to bring this thing up in any negative fashion, but what I will say is like sex tape that came out on what's the girl? Ray J and Kim Kardashian. That propelled her career. I mean, that one sex tape propelled her. So all you got to do is get it done. That's just how it is. I mean, so meeting is using, you know, these young women and their experience, you know, whether it's real or not, with Rob, and they're feeling that this is their opportunity to get in because they didn't get in organically through their talents being recognized by someone in the industry that is making it time.
Okay, is Joycelyn still supporting R. Kelly, or you know what the situation is with that?
She seems to be. I mean, Joycelyn always, and I've always been Joycelyn's company, which was, I won't say that we spent time around when we had like communication. Joycelyn was always the reserved, laid back one who was an introvert. So she didn't speak much. The feisty one was always Azriel. So it's along with my perception of Joycelyn that she's one of those women that's going to go down,
she's like loyal, basically.
She has that acumen about her. I would be surprised if she came out. She would probably have to be in some very extreme conditions, but I still don't think she has it in her to say anything negative about him. I mean, you know, she had a very troubling experience that happened with her family. And, you know, Rob gave her a shine the light on a different thing. Rob could have been with any woman in the world. And for him, it's like, at this time in his career, you know, Joycelyn and Naz to come stay with him, you know, they're not foolish enough not to realize that he put a lot on the line for that. And even in the end, when everybody was saying send him home, he kept him there. I mean, he could have sent him home. I mean, so that's just the whole thing. So I think Joycelyn, to me, you know, I don't think that we'll see her turning on Rob. I don't think that'll happen. But I've been wrong before. So, you know, I'll put that disclaimer.
It's kind of going in and out.
My connection.
It's kind of going in and out. Is it going in and out for you guys too?
I get paid early. I pay no account fees. I can take cash out for free, and I can separate out my business expenses.
This dude's still talking.
Hello? I mean, I'm saying hello. Does it sound, is it going in and out? No? It's kind of, okay. My friend said that it was fine. Okay, so Azriel had put up this reply to people, and I don't know if I can't really make it bigger, but I guess I'll just read it. So someone went on her page and they wanted to ask her what the reason was why she left R. Kelly. In her summary, she said, long story short, I left Rob because he was a liar and he was lying to Joy. Robert planned when and how he was going to let Joy go. If she was the one, she wouldn't have went 4 to 5 months without seeing him. I was the only person asked to see at visitation every time, not Joy. And the only reason why she is able to see him now is because I left. He didn't care for Joy, and I didn't like that he was using her. And I told him that at my very last visitation to get rid of her if he didn't care. And his last words were, we have to feed the tiger before the tiger bites us, not meaning me, but him. So Azriel wrote that on her Instagram, and I was going to put that I'm still going to put that in a separate video, but I want to know your thoughts as to her saying that.
If she even wrote it, I doubt she wrote that. That sounds like something that someone wrote and on her behalf, but that's not true. I mean, Rob, from my vantage point, and I've only been around him about a year, directly, about a year and a half. It's like you don't have to, when you know who you are and what you mean to someone, you don't have to revalidate that every day. Joycelyn was the one that constantly paid attention to. Not Joycelyn, Azriel, I'm sorry. Azriel was not Joycelyn. I mean, Joycelyn already knew her position was live. So for her to say that, that's backwards. I mean, Azriel was always slipping away. She was always fighting. She was always pushing her weight around. And I did peep that on several occasions. But Joy didn't do that. She was more relaxed, calm, and laid back. So, and it was a lot of occasions where Joycelyn was the only one that was with Rob. I mean, they spent a lot of time together. And if you actually look at some of the women that Rob has dated in his past, she fits in that same, the ones that he cared about. Not the ones that he's been with, the ones that he cared about. She fits within that same style. But, you know, at this point, Azriel is tainted. Anybody who believes anything out of her mouth, you know, that's just like, she's not willing, so why even listen to her? I mean, I don't, you know, can't read anything. That's just like me reading some of Tim D. Goddess writes about Rkellys. It's bogus.
Do you think that Azriel was, well, I'm going to ask you this and then I'll go back to Azriel. So someone sent in a super chat and said, will Rkelly sue all that stole money from him?
That's what we were planning to do. And that's why, you know, once again, when I talk about the people that are...
Do y'all hear everything that he says is we, us, we. But you got the lawyers saying that Robert does not deal with him. You got other lawyers saying Robert has not talked to him. Why is everything we?
You know, discrediting me and all that is because they know we have the evidence on that. And that goes back, it's a laundry list. You know, and I put the names out there. You know, I've been threatened. I've been, you know, whatever. I mean, at this point, I don't even give a crap anymore. Like, whatever. Say what you like, say what you may. It is what it is. Y'all stole from this man. You go, whether you face your judgment, you know, in this life or the next, God, your karma is real. So when you talk about Derek, most of the time it was my mom that did that. She would put that stuff in the face.
Okay, let me see if there are any more questions and then we could like wrap it up. You've answered a lot and maybe we could do a part 2 if there is anything else. Shoot. Okay, let me see if there's any more questions. Let's see. Somebody said, why is Angelo worried about Rkelly's bank account? Hit the like button, you guys. Make sure to share this live as well. Thank you guys for tuning in. We have 2,300 people viewing this live right now. So, you know, the way that it helps me out is to like it, share it, comment on it, and let me see about any more questions. And then we will, you know, wrap this up. Somebody says, why does he care about his money? He needs to worry about his daughter. I mean, you know,
she done been documentaries and she done seen psychiatrists that she needs to see after what they say allegedly happened to her.
Yeah, so let's see if there's any more questions and then we will wrap it up. We've already gone over the Aaliyah marriage. Somebody asked about Bubba. Sorry, they sent in a donation and asked that too. I'm sorry, I just realized. Somebody wanted to know who is Bubba. That's all they said. Who is Bubba?
This is one of the stories. That's all. One of the side guys. I mean, Bubba had his own business, a tattoo shop. You know, he worked with Rob as one of his. This guy is one of his friends. And we got cigars for him. They hung out. They drank together. There's nothing sexual ever. Rob is not that kind. He likes women. He's not in the Hold on,
wait, pause. Don't promote anybody else's YouTube channel on my page. I will block you. I'm glancing at some of the chats. Don't put nobody else's, promote anybody's channel. Don't nobody else promote me on their page. I get it on my own. So don't come over here and promote nobody, because anytime I see anybody else live, I don't see none of y'all promoting me or me being promoted on anybody else's platform. I hustle and bustle by myself, so please do not promote anybody else in my chat. You will be blocked. Anyway.
The professional put that in, you don't go to CBS to promote Channel 5.
Pretty much, period. Okay, so somebody said, if Robert's legal representation is no good, why won't he hire someone new?
Well, it's several things. That's not necessarily true. Rob does want really no help, but the exact words to that outside stuff he said, man, it's like you got somebody and you're speaking about Greenberg, and you just robbed the fucking bank, and then when you jump in the getaway car, and all of a sudden the getaway driver starts talking shit. Stupid, like he could have threw or something. You shouldn't have had him, like, why don't you shoot him in the head or what? So, in essence, what that bit was, whatever him and Greenberg have, and whatever they shared, whatever their arrangement was, you know, he was worried about if he fired him, because this is what he said to the other attorney that he interviewed, what if he goes out and starts talking negative about it? And Rob is so used to whenever, just look at what these women do, whenever somebody breaks bad, they start talking bad about it. I mean, so that was the biggest thing, too. You ain't got no money. I mean, like, you know, everything that we tried to accomplish to bring some money in to pay some of these guys for research and all this kind of stuff, where's it at? I mean, they got liens on all of this stuff. His baby mama taking child support. I mean, where's the money? You don't have the money to hire a legal team like he had the last time. He borrowed the money from Sony when he was with Sony. He doesn't have Sony no more. So where's he going to get the money from?
Oh, okay. Somebody said, Vada did speak out, aka Bunnies, on video. Haley was in the car and Cassius Dallas, it was on video. Okay, that was Vada that was in that video? I remember some girl. Okay, so I didn't know about that. Okay, so maybe she did speak out. Somebody said, how is Joycelyn? I think you mentioned Joycelyn. Another person wanted to know about Latoya. Latoya is also another girl. She said she had a SunTrust account in his name. She had sat down with Azriel in that documentary. Do you know anything about Latoya?
I wouldn't tell anybody if there was an account in his name. First of all, there's a lien against any account that has his name on it right now, and that's because of his ex-landlord sued him for the balance of money that was owed at the studio that he should not have owed anyway. So that's a lie.
Does he know her?
I don't know. I wasn't around whenever they met, so she's a non-factor. She's not causing him to be locked up, so I don't know what he knows. He knows a gazillion women.
Do you know who the Jane Does are in the situation?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Shonda. That's Shonda. I think one of them is Latoya Hall. LT, Faith Rogers, Honda Pace. So those are the four right there.
Okay, so Faith Rogers, who did you say?
Yeah, I'm not looking at notes right now, but one of them was the same. She put the lawsuit in.
Because people were saying that Azriel was Jane Doe number 4.
Well,
is Azriel a part of it?
Azriel's case is still something different. Azriel's case is what Abernathy was representing. Of course, he can't do that anymore. But no, that was a total difference. Because at first they didn't have Azriel. So now that they have her, it's like I was explaining to somebody. So what? I mean, they say, well, they're already accused them of whatever, and says facing 136 years. Azriel was willing when these things happen. So now, add her to it doesn't really matter because we're going to pay on 10 more years to 136 the things that they're trying to put on it. It really doesn't matter whether Azriel is a part of it or not. She's not a difference maker. The accusations were placed on him before Azriel went to go back.
Okay, how do you feel about Rkellys?
I have no criminal emotion towards her at all, but I know truths about Dre that she just need to back down because it don't even make sense. Some of the stuff that she's went through with him, the whole situation with the child, she almost got locked up by child services and he didn't allow that to happen to her. And the fact that, man, you know how many times I went to Rob and said, Rob, your child support needs to be reduced. The law states 20% of your earnings. You're not making any money. She's actually making more money than he was at one point. Why are you still paying? And then 2 of the kids are over 18, and he would not allow us to get his child support reduced. I mean, so the fact that this man never, I mean, you gotta realize, those kids are 18, he's never once abandoned his, role in paying child support. And Dre is pissed off because there was a reality show that she had done.
Yeah, I remember you told me about Bubba.
Reality show she was in. Her horrible behavior is why the show got canned, and her mismanagement of funds is why it got canceled. And they gave an opportunity to rehash it, but they wanted Rob in it. And he chose not to do it because he's like, I'm not going to go down and act like we're together. We're not together. So that's when she started all of a sudden jumping out there and jumping on the other side. But she wasn't originally a part of it. But she came in like she was the head diva, and he wasn't paying child support, so he got all these expensive. She didn't lean out in life, so now she needs to make money. So joining the other side is the same thing that all the rest of them are doing right now, because it pays us.
Okay, somebody said, can Rob sue his former publicist?
Well, yeah, we should. I mean, that was Angela Clary who put him in there as well.
So you're saying Angela Clary sent him in?
Yeah, Dale Johnson was sent by Angela Clary.
Oh, okay. Somebody said, what about money from defense fund for a lawyer?
I have nothing to do with nothing. I mean, I don't know. Everybody belongs to the defense fund to come up and Rob's expense.
So he's saying that Daryl Johnson was sent in by Angelo Clary. But now they're saying he was sent in by Stephen Greenberg. So what one is it? It doesn't make any sense. Everything is just one after another lie, another lie, another lie, another lie, another lie.
And this is it. Exactly 20 years ago today, we're talking about April 19, 2001, a young neurosurgeon began working as CNN's brand new medical correspondent. We have a little surprise for you, Sanjay. Watch that.
And I'm talking to you in your office just about the mission of CNN. And remember, as I wrote this down, to act upon one's convictions while others wait, create a positive force in the world, to provide information.
We have some methods of people that there are people that want to contribute. Because if this lawsuit, if everything goes in the wrong direction, then this sets back a lot of people. I mean, particularly women, black women, because people think twice about bringing them on board, hiring them. It's not a celebrity right now that's not shaking in their boots because how many of them they let in the room, sat on their lap, got pictures. You can bring down a star from the hood. So so there are a lot of people that want to contribute. They may not necessarily like Rob or care for him or a fan or whatever, but a lot of folks out there fighting for freedom, and they may not even know Martin Luther King or whoever the case. They just want freedom because they want to be free. And that's essentially what's going on right now. It's a lot of celebrities and people in high places that are concerned about the outcome of this case, and they will do it. They just want to do it anonymously. So, but the first thing is they don't support his legal team. They don't think that those guys have the capacity to get him adjudicated, properly adjudicate this case so he can be exonerated.
Oh, okay. All right, and then there was another question. Oh, wait. Okay, wait. There was one after that. Sorry. There's a lot of questions in here. I was trying to get to the super chat. Somebody said, why at one time he was talking to Savage and the Clarys if he's for Kells? You, I guess.
Why was I talking to him?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, come on, fellas. Let's stop it. Rob did not want this to be the way it was. He attempted to negotiate peace treaties or whatever you want to call them to get everybody amicably together, but every time that happened, Savage or Clary would just nut up. Or have a producer record for him will say that it was always them trying to engage in some kind of business with him. And, just like part of what happened with Mason, who was past attorney, I'm not going to speak anything, about Mason because he's a horrible person to me. I met him and I don't like him, and I saw him, pull through contracts and all that kind of stuff on Rob's behalf. Not for him, but, without his permission. And as part of what we were doing, everybody was trying to avoid this thing that was on my team. So sitting down trying to talk to the other side to get them to come up with an amicable solution, why wouldn't I engage in that? And the only person we can do that with is Barry and Phil. I mean, so yeah, I had several conversations with them trying to get them to back down. Have you listened to one of the audios that was released?
So you heard what he said. He had several conversations with the parents trying to get them to back down. So that's where that comes at, where the prosecutors kept saying people was reaching out to the alleged victim parents and trying to get them to stop talking, and that's a form of obstruction. Oh God. I'm having the worst headache right now. This is too much. This is too much. This is too much.
It's uncommon, right? I mean, you set the standard, I think, for all of us that's staying in a job like this for 20 years. You do it because you love it. You do it because you think you make a difference. So that was very emotional to see those clips. I mean, it's just, and I feel very privileged. I know you do too.
Myself and I think Cash released it later. That was me on the phone with him, trying to back him down and say you love your daughter and all. Tasha released it without giving me props. Another blogger released it, and they played the whole thing.
Daytime, tea time.
Yeah, Candace, that's right. Right, I love Candace. She's a great person. She stays in the middle just like you do. So the bottom line was, I was attempting to negotiate a peace treaty, a truce, but they were getting paid to create this distraction, and it's like it always fell apart. I mean, so that was part of what my responsibility was, coming in as his consultant and his advisor, to figure out how we can get up out of all this muddy water and back out into the clean sea that we can sail.
So you see how he was pushing himself to be a consultant and an advisor, and all he was worrying about was money. So we can sell. So meaning all he was worried about was the financial gain. That's it. He ain't go get the proper paperwork.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Burnett. Up front tonight, a nation on edge. The face of the officer charged with killing George Floyd is now in the hands of the jury. Right now, a group of protesters are outside of the courthouse. You can see they're gathered. 12 men and women are deliberating at this hour, and they are indeed doing that, not taking a break. They're deliberating right now. Left to decide whether former officer Derek Chauvin is guilty of second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter. President Biden tonight fearing a controversial verdict could inflame new racial tensions. One senior White House official telling CNN the thinking inside the West Wing is, quote, this was already a tinderbox. It becomes more volatile by the day. Well, in reflection of that, cities from New York, from Washington to Chicago and Los Angeles are bracing for protests and potential unrest in the wake of a verdict. In Minneapolis, stores are boarded up, razor wires protecting government buildings. The National Guard is there, and more than 100 troopers from Ohio and Nebraska are being called in to help keep the peace if needed. In Washington, the Army preparing to approve a request to deploy the National Guard, and they're asking for at least 300 troops. This trial putting a spotlight on policing in the U.S. Prosecution in its closing argument telling the jury that Chauvin murder was like murder.
This case is exactly what you thought when you saw it first. When you saw that video, it is exactly that. You can believe your eyes. It's exactly what you needed. It's exactly what you saw with your eyes. It's exactly what you knew. It's what you felt in your gut. It's what you now know in your heart. This wasn't policing. This was murder.
The defense repeatedly telling the jury that Chauvin was acting like a reasonable police officer, a phrase his attorney used roughly 100 times today in the closing arguments.
In this case, the totality of the circumstances that were known to a reasonable police officer, in the precise moment force was used, demonstrates that this was authorized use of force.
Sarah Slider is out front live in Minneapolis tonight, and Sarah, the jury is deliberating in that courthouse behind you where protesters are gathering, and the nation is bracing for this verdict.
Absolutely, and that verdict, by the way, can come any time now between 10 minutes and the next 10 or more days. It just depends on how much the jury wants to re-look at evidence and how long it will take them to come to some kind of decision.
Remember, the jury instructed as follows. It is your duty to decide the questions of fact in this case.
Tonight, after 27 days of trial from jury selection to closing arguments, 45 witnesses, dozens of pieces of evidence, the murder trial against former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin and the death of George Floyd is finally in the hands of a jury. Use your eyes. Need your eyes. Chauvin, who is charged with second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and one count of manslaughter, has pleaded not guilty.
That force for 9 minutes and 28 seconds that killed George Floyd. He betrayed the marriage and everything it stood for. I submit to you that the state has failed to meet its burden of proof beyond the reason.
The defense tried to sow doubt about whether Chauvin's knee on Floyd's neck was the primary factor in his death.
You can't come in and say George Floyd, on one hand, George Floyd died of asphyxiation, but he has a 98% oxygen. What is oxygen?
The prosecution reminded the jury of the expert medical testimony they had heard from the stand.
Like common sense or is that nonsense? Not enough oxygen gets That's what killed George Floyd.
Over and over again, they replayed the video of Floyd taking his last breaths.
So he's telling you, you can't breathe, you keep doing it, you're doing it on purpose.
Last week, Chauvin pleaded the fifth, which is a defendant's right to avoid self-incrimination. His defense attorney instead spoke for him.
For 9 minutes and 29 seconds, ignores the previous 16 minutes and 59 seconds. It completely disregards it. It tries to reframe the issue of what the reasonable police officer would do.
After weeks of laying out the case, arguing that a heart condition, drug use, carbon monoxide from the squad car's exhaust, and potentially stress-induced excited delirium all could have contributed to Floyd's death, the defense implored the jury to see there is enough reasonable doubt to acquit.
He would observe the white phone around Mr. Floyd's body. He would consider the possibility that this person was under the suspect, was under the influence of the suspect. This is not the trial of George Floyd. He is not on trial. He didn't get a trial when he was alive. And he is not on trial.
Before the jury began deliberations, some of the last words they heard was this rebuttal from the prosecution.
You were told that this is the way God because his heart was too big. And the truth of the matter is that the reason George Floyd was dead is because Mr. Chauvin's heart was too strong.
I knew it. And this is why I said everybody want to take up for Don and push Robert to the side, but y'all don't see how he's trying to say, like, he's a manager, he's this, he's that. So in order for the prosecutors to try to fill that Rico. Pay attention, y'all, because I see all through this. Pay attention.
All right, Sarah, thank you very much. We're going to have more on that in a moment, because obviously possible significance here on what was said by the congressman. I'll find out Leone, our legal analyst and former...
And the agenda from the beginning. And at the end of the day, you was not given no type of permission.
So I appreciate...
But you trying to paint a picture.
Let me start with you. The jury is meeting right now. So walk us through the charges they're considering. These 3 charges and the penalties if Chauvin is found guilty of any of them, or whether they can be on top of each other. I mean, just lay this out here.
Yeah, so the jury's considering 3 separate charges. Each of them stands alone. They will vote separately on each one. The top charge is murder in the second degree. What the prosecution has to show is that Chauvin intentionally assaulted, not necessarily intended to kill, but assaulted George Floyd, resulting in his death. The middle charge is third-degree murder. The prosecution has to show what we call depraved mind murder, meaning that the defendant created an eminently dangerous situation, unsafe for human life. And then the lowest charge is manslaughter. The prosecution there has to prove what we call culpable negligence, meaning Derek Chauvin created an unreasonable risk to George Floyd. Laying overall into the issue of medical causation. Did Derek Chauvin's actions cause George Floyd's death? The defense actually misstated that today during their closing. They said if other factors were involved, then you have to acquit. That's not correct. The prosecution corrected it. The judge eventually corrected it. As long as Chauvin's actions were one contributing cause, that's enough for the jury to convict.
All right, and just to be clear, Ellie, do they have to pick one of those charges? I mean, they could go on none of them, but they can't go on more than one, correct?
They can convict on all 3. They can convict on 2, 1, or 0. Yes.
Okay, all right. So then when you look at your times here of how much time you could spend in prison, obviously that becomes additive. Then I know the judge.
If you got somebody that's fueling they shit off of the negativity, it's never gonna work. So yeah, I talked to Kim, I talked to Angelo. It was business to me, and it's still business. I don't have anything against any one of them personally. I don't like what they did to my friend. I mean, but you know what I mean? Before any war starts, both sides talk. They have a sit down and decide at that point, you know, we going to war because we can't come up with a solution. And that's essentially what happened. They went to war because we couldn't come up with a solution to get them together where they can benefit off of our side. It's like, okay, if we're gonna do this, then we gotta do a record on it. We gotta do something we can take it and make money off of it. We gotta do this deal with us on this, and love. And it's like, is this about our daughters or is this about making money? And it was always about making money, and we couldn't present a solution that meant they would get paid in full. They went to the other side, and they kept going on the other side. Real simple.
Okay. Alrighty, well, the last question, I guess I'll ask you, there's so many, so if you're up to a part 2, maybe we can do that, but I don't want to hold you all night. The last question is, the last time you talked to R. Kelly, what was his mental state, how is he holding up, and how is he doing throughout all of this?
Three-part answer to that. And the first one I'll say is, the last time I heard from Rob, he wasn't doing too well. You just heard the information about Azriel. No, that's not the last time. The last time was a couple of days ago, and that was a real positive exchange information of how you feel about certain things. But the situation with Azriel really hurt him because you got to realize what he's doing through partially because of him not picking up his curve, not just dropping off. I mean, he stuck with her and Joycelyn, you know, and to show that he wasn't a monster. He wasn't somebody that just takes them in and chews up, picks them out. So of course he's heartbroken because he's got to sit up in there by himself on a decision that he made. Period. There's a part of Rob right now that's healing. That's healing, whatever you want to call it, which he needs that. I mean, so Rob had a lot of parasites around him, and he couldn't escape those parasites because they had invested their energies into sucking off of his energy source. And now that he's where he is, they can't feed off of him no more. They can't suck him dry. So that cleansing that he needs to sit down and make his peace with himself and with God, and he's getting the opportunity to do that. And anybody that has done as much as he has, they need that opportunity in life. We just hate to see it come at that expense, but he's playing basketball in there. You know, the guys in there, they got these stories that they hear from the king of R&B. Some of those guys are going home saying, "Oh man, we was children." So that's the part that I would like to think that, you know, he's in there, and Rob was one of those guys that like to stay around his guys. I mean, every day he had to get the cigars, the Hennessy, you know, we meet
off. Everybody went out. Yeah, they went out. This is crazy, man. Like, no, I had picked up a phone call, yo. Picked up a phone call. I'm gonna end this live and then come back. That's what I just said. That's what I just said. I said, I can't stand these fake ass supporters. I said, y'all sitting up here, then you got people in the chat. Oh yeah, he is the manager. He do know Rob. Oh, I said that's connecting him with Robert. And then today, Michael Williams, he pleaded guilty. So they dropped the intimidation charge. And they'll say they're gonna drop him for Robert too. But he's on there talking about they knew each other since little kids, and Rob had sex with Aaliyah's mom. No, what? Why would you say stuff like that? Then say that you was trying to write letters to to tell them to withdraw, and you was calling the alleged victims. What? That's what he said.